Content warning. On this podcast, we discuss sensitive issues, including, but not limited to, swearing, tasteless jokes, situations of a sexual nature, and drug use. This podcast is not intended for children. Welcome to BiblioWrecks, where we read the worst stories the world has to offer. I'm Bam Bam.
And I'm Bugs.
And today we're reading a wretched, horrible thing that you don't like.
Yeah, you're the one who bought this, so I get to blame you.
Yeah. That's valid, because I do just buy books that just look bad willy-nilly and then just never look at them again.
Yeah, so this was on your Audible. It's The Nightmare Virus by Nadine Brandes. Or Brands, Brandes.
Yeah, I would say Brands.
And
Nadine?
Nadine.
I didn't think that this author would be a woman.
It is a woman. It is a white woman.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like a male power fantasy, sort of, right?
Basically.
Yeah, that's weird.
I know. I think I was most of the way through the book before I was like, I need to look up this author. And yeah, white Christian author, spoiler. And I was like, oh.
I mean, the white Christian part makes sense from what little bit you told me about.
And like, my first read through, I didn't realize it was a Christian book. Well, first listen through. And that's kind of the key point. I was listening, and the first sentence in the audiobook is, quote, "Once you catch the nightmare virus, you have 22 days until you die." That's fact number 1. Fact number 2 is that there's no cure yet. But I got the Kindle version. And the dedication says, quote, "For my creator, from the very beginning, this one's been yours. And to my fellow nerds, we know which fandom wins in the end." And a Bible verse is quoted on the page before chapter 1.
Okay. What's the verse?
It doesn't even matter. It's just a very obvious Hebrews or Genesis or some shit.
Oh, so it doesn't really pertain to anything?
It's just to prove how Christian and holy she is. So, the audiobook version, straight to this first sentence of the book. Kindle version, all this Jesus and God stuff at the beginning. Yeah. So 2 entirely different experiences. And I wasn't paying close attention to the audiobook. I was having a hard time, needed some light, easy thriller listening. Not giving it all my brain cells, just a few. So it took me, because I think I was telling you about this book. I think I was 2/3 of the way through when I was like, I think this is a Christian allegory. What? And you were like, yeah, wasn't the character's name Cain Cross? And I was like, I thought they were just making a point. I didn't realize. I wasn't paying enough attention. And the thing is, it is sci-fi. And it is a very clear sci-fi premise that is non-biblical through the story. This was created by man. This is a man-made virus. This isn't a biblical plague.
Okay.
So I was taking it from the secular viewpoint, and then it wasn't Christian enough for most of the book for me to latch on to it. Because sometimes people are just culturally Christian. They throw stuff into their writing, and it's not on purpose. Everyone's having dinner at Easter together, and we went to church. And that's just because I'm a cultural Christian who goes to church on Easter, and it didn't occur to me I might do something else.
Yeah, it kind of just feels like it's paying lip service without actually caring how it's integrated into the story.
Right. Or they're just unaware of it.
Right.
So that's why you guys get the heads up, and I went into this feeling confused. And you'll kind of see as we go why.
Yeah. Now, what exactly is the premise? Like, just the basic premise of the story? Because you get the virus.
And in 22 days, you die. And that there's no cure. So that is exactly what the book says. First 2 sentences. 22 days until you die. That's actually false. And there's no cure.
Which, by the end of the story, is probably also false.
Right. And I don't really have a problem with simplifying stuff to get a hook. That's a strong hook. I listened to that and I was like, sure, I'm in.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's an interesting premise. And we start out with our narrator as this young guy. And the part of the problem with the story is he is present tense first person, telling us what's happening right now. And in a thriller, that can be good and it can also be extremely bad. Because when he's unconscious or having problems you can't see from the outside, you just get blank spaces where he guesses what happened. And he's not a great observer. He's not very smart. You're kind of going with what his vibes, what he's believing is going on.
Oh, that makes it easy to contrive a surprising situation later on because the main character's an idiot.
Yeah. And then other people are like, hey, you're kind of an idiot. And he's like, no, I'm not. I totally know what's going on.
And that makes it funny if you point out how unfunny it is.
Yeah. His name is Kane Cross. He gets made fun of for his name sometimes because it's a very silly name. His brother is named Noel. Nole.
Not Noel?
Not Noel. Not Noah. Noel. And I don't understand how that's Christian. I didn't bother looking it up. But you'd think a Cain would have a brother named Abel, Adam,
Yeah.
David. So I don't know Noel. They pick some weird names in this.
Yeah. I mean, it could just be like Noel adjacent because a lot of authors do that. They'll be referencing something and it's just similar looking more than it actually sounds similar or is written similarly.
I just think the author put a lot of thought into Cain and kind of just, the brother really is a blip. So Cain and Noel live in a camper van, but I think it's actually a pickup that pulls a trailer. It's not clearly defined. It doesn't even matter. They're trying to find a cure. Noel is smarter than Cain, but he has the virus. The virus makes you sleep for 1 hour in this alternate world on day 1, 2 hours on day 2, 3 hours on day 3, all the way up to day 22, where you only get to be awake for 2 hours, and then you go unconscious and never wake up again. And these are not sleeps that are restful. They're like being in a coma, but your brain is in this alternate world. This world is sometime in the future, and it has a dream technology that lets you take a serum that sends you to a specific dream, and it's contained, like, you get injected with the serum, go to sleep, and you have a dream where you're at an amusement park, jumping off cliffs, flying around, playing with dinosaurs.
Yeah, like a full dive VR experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're just unconscious to experience it, and then you wake up, and it was a lovely dream. It's addictive and wonderful, and everyone loves it. Noel and Cain were in college to be dream architects, who are the people who write the program for the dreams, because it's a blend of VR and bioscience. But some virus got into all of the people who had ever used the dream technology.
Like a biological virus?
Yes.
Okay.
So anyone who had ever used a dream serum, some of that serum stayed in their system somehow. Now, when they fall asleep, they go into this nightmare. And it's happening to everybody. When they first created the dream technology, they gave everyone in the world a free dream. And that made everyone addicted to it. But poor people couldn't get it all the time. But everyone who was even poor got to do it like one time. That's the premise. And it killed off all of the scientists who had been doing dreams a lot. So if you had been doing dream technology frequently, you got this virus early. And if you hadn't done it very often, you got this virus late.
Like, it's like the author wanted it to be like a chemical buildup, like a buildup of like some kind of toxin or something from doing it, but also wanted it to happen no matter how many times you did it.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense from a viral perspective unless you played that virus game on the app where you could change your virus while people already had it and kill everybody and wipe them out. Oh, what was that game called? Not Contagion. Maybe it was called
Plague Inc.
Plague Inc. I think she played Plague Inc. and was like, yes, this, but nightmare.
See, I feel like the normal way to do this would be, it's like a buildup of like some kind of chemical. And the more you do it, the more close to death you're going to get. But then you have some kind of stakes that keeps driving them into having to do it. Mm-hmm. And yeah, there's where you get your tension from.
Right. Instead, she wanted to force everyone in the world to end up in this nightmare, even though it was a voluntary thing. You didn't have to choose to accept a free coupon. Mm-hmm. And I think there'd be people who would refuse to because it could be dangerous.
Yeah.
She just wanted to force everyone to have this somehow. Mm-hmm. The thing is, this dream, you fall asleep and you wake up in this other world in a tunnel. And it's just a black tunnel. And you stay there. And then you wake up in our world. Then you fall asleep and you wake up in this tunnel. And that's what happens until you die. But you don't actually die on day 22. You just don't wake up again. So if you have people to take care of your body, you can live there forever if you're in a life support pod.
Right.
Or you have people giving you IVs and changing your diaper and rolling you periodically.
So relatively the Matrix.
Yes. It's basically the Matrix if you have people to care for your body. Mm-hmm. The time frame is fuzzy. When I went through and wrote my script, it said this had been going on for months. It also said 90% of the world's population was dead.
90% of the world's population?
Yes.
Over the course of months?
Yes. Which is my biggest problem with the story.
Does the entire story just smell like corpse? Like everyone...
We never address any dead bodies.
Huh.
Which I was like, you wouldn't be able to move for dead bodies.
Right. And it's like 10% of the human population distributed across the entire world, right?
The globe, yes.
Right. So you would, like, most likely never meet anyone again.
Right. You would, because I looked it up and I was like, okay, that's whatever, 800 million people or something that would be still alive or that had died. So we would have 200 million people or whatever.
I mean, it would just make it extremely unlikely.
The last time we had that dispersion, that amount of humans on the planet was 1750. Like when I did the math of if we're at 8 billion, 90% die, X number. When was the last time human population on the earth? Was that? It was before 1750.
Okay.
Before the Industrial Revolution. And my other problem is Cain doesn't have anybody he's lost in the story. Noel dies because he had the virus. And they don't save him. His mom died in the past of cancer. Those are the only 2 deaths he mourns in the entire book. But if everyone you knew, if 90% of the people you knew died, you would be mourning dozens, if not hundreds of people. That'd be everyone in your family.
Yeah. Or everyone you ever knew.
Yeah.
Except
if you
for, like,
happen
a
to be the
handful.
1 out of 10 who lived. And Cain is a complete loner he doesn't mourn teachers from the school. He doesn't mourn students at the school. He apparently had no neighbors, no family, and no friends except his mom and his brother. Those are the only people he thinks about. And he cares about no one except himself. It's like he woke up in this exact moment with his brother and has no human connection outside of that.
Yeah, did not exist prior to this moment.
Yes. And we've had this problem with end of the world stories before. If you actually sat down and thought about all the people dying.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that, not only just the fact that you're in an apocalypse, a lot of stuff preceding that would have been just as bad as the apocalypse itself.
And now you'd be dealing with, there would be no clean water anywhere. Everything would be full of dead bodies. Every square inch. Like, and he's in upstate New York. Yeah. A place that had a lot of people.
Would probably be easy to find because if 90% of the population died in like a couple of months, that's not even enough time for people to like hoard everything.
Or you go find where the people hoarded stuff. They're all dead because they didn't have someone to care for their body who stayed awake. Yeah. So that is the premise. That is the world she has built. And we spend the first section of the book of Cain trying to work on writing a program to put in a magic serum that would make you wake up. The idea is if you're forced to fall asleep into this nightmare, and it is like on the dot, it's like 6 a.m. on the dot, you pass out. It's not, the next time you fall asleep. It's like regimented by time.
Like programmed?
Yes.
Okay.
It's like a program got into you and said, you will fall asleep from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. And then you'll be awake from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. And then you'll fall asleep. It's like an alarm clock. And that's what gives us urgency, is we have these arbitrary time limitations. And I would think everyone would be just in a tizzy of rush if you knew you had exactly 6 hours on the dot to be awake to do whatever. Cain very rarely feels any urgency. He also eats almost no food. He eats like a potato and an egg a day. And this has no effect on his physical body. He will eat a piece of gum for dinner, and this is for weeks. Because we don't care that humans actually need, 1,000 calories to keep walking around and functioning.
Yeah, that's so weird. What was that, a potato and what?
An egg. They have a couple chickens on the side of their trailer. They each eat like an egg a day. They have a bag of potatoes from the before times. Literally, they eat a boiled egg and a boiled potato, and that's a dinner. That's like the meal for the day.
And they can't just go get like resources, like non-perishables or whatever? Where are they? Where are we?
Upstate New York somewheres, but not in the city.
Yeah, there's gotta be
everyone is dead.
If in this apocalypse, there's no reason for people to hoard resources, right?
Use it all up, get more. Just go knock in every house. All the houses will be full of dead people.
There's no way, like, if you were to know about this beforehand and were to be trying to prepare, hoarding food and water and resources and shit wouldn't help you.
Because you're only going to be awake for a small portion of 3 weeks.
Right. So, everyone's dead. You can just go pick stuff up at the store because there's no reason that the shelves wouldn't still be stocked with like canned food and shit.
Right. But she decided to make it impossible for anyone to have food, and food is the most scarce resource in this book, basically.
That's so weird.
So she's starving her characters for no reason.
It's like, it's apocalypse. People starve during the apocalypse. We're not going to think about why they're
I'm going to
starving.
watch Walking Dead and then play Plague Inc. and then say, yes, that.
Okay.
So that's the world that we have built. And because all of the smart rich people are all dead, because this was months ago. So if 30% of the population got this at the same time, months ago, they would be dead months ago. Because that's 3 weeks of consciousness. And it would take a while for people to realize what was happening.
Yeah.
It would take a while for people to count the number of days someone was arbitrarily falling asleep at 10 p.m.
Yeah.
Being forced to sleep for 14 or 15 hours.
It would be kind of a medical epidemic.
Yes.
Other people wouldn't notice before the people that were falling asleep would notice, probably.
And then you wouldn't know what was happening or what was causing it.
Yeah. And people would be falling asleep behind the wheel. People would be falling asleep at work.
And here's the other problem, another really big problem I have with this book. You are able to physically see a person in real life getting the night mist.
Oh.
So if I was infected and my 6 a.m. came, you would be able to look at me and see gray shadows going around in my eyes and vaguely like hugging my body like a cloak. And then I would fall over.
Right?
But it's a computer programmed virus.
So the virus is programmed. What?
Yeah. Like he literally sees
but
night
you're getting
mist
like magic
around
dusted.
Yes. In your eyes and like on your body when it happens. So it has a physical, real manifestation in this world
and not just
in the tunnel world.
A virus in your body releasing something that puts you to sleep.
Correct. Which I hate because now we're playing with like magic.
Yeah,
or
that's
something.
just magic.
Like a evil curse.
Like we're doing bad virology, we're doing technology, and now we're doing it's just magic.
Yeah. But there's a reason we have to be able to physically see it happening to people.
Oh, yeah.
Because we need that for the plot.
Right. No, that makes sense. Because it can't just be that someone's just asleep. You have to know whether it's the special sleep.
Right. One of the main conflicts for Cain is that his mom and dad broke up. His dad left and just went away. His mom got into a huge depression and was like in bed for a year. And her depression destroyed his life, and now he hates her. Because at 13, he had to get a job with his brother to make enough money so they could survive and not die of starvation. Because there's no social services in this world. This is a Christian world.
Yeah.
There's no public school.
You have to suffer so God can give you character.
Right. This is a Christian world, so we don't have free school lunches. We don't have housing for single mothers. We don't have food stamps. We have to force a 13-year-old to go get a job because that's the only way to keep a house.
Right.
Throughout the story, he's just like, Mom, I was 13. It ruined our relationship. Noel told me I should forgive her, but I just couldn't.
This is the deepest thing about my character.
Yes, I got hurt by my mom.
I got mommy issues, like everyone.
And there's no blame for the dad for abandoning them.
Right.
The dad literally left. Nobody says anything about him again. How could mom stay with us and be depressed? Oh, lame-o. And then later she gets cancer and dies. And that was the real abandonment, Mom. How could God do this to me, Mom? And he does the whole, I'm an atheist because I hate God.
Yeah, the reason all atheists are atheists. There's no other reason that you would be an atheist.
And we even have mom cancer to create the atheist.
Right.
And Noel is the one who have faith, Cain. God will get us through this. God will give us the answer to this. We can do this.
And then Noel dies.
And then Noel dies.
I think Noel might have been wrong.
And Cain's like, no, Noel abandoned me. He said he wouldn't leave me. Oh. Cain is like, yeah, I'm not as good as math. I can't do this. Why does Noel expect me to write this? Because these were community college students who had been in 1 and 2 years of a beginning engineering program. They only learned the very basics of how the Imagicserum works.
I hate the name Imagicserum.
Yeah. I know. I hate it too. That's why I call it serum most of the time. But they are the ones who will solve the problem because they have faith and they have God on their side. But then
that's what has made every vaccine and antibiotic that's been created was faith. Not that there wasn't an abundance of people that were faithful prior to those things that, just died of the plague or whatever else.
You didn't know that the bubonic plague got healed by Christian monks?
What?
You didn't hear about that?
No,
the prayer and incense blew it away.
Oh, right. And it worked every time.
Every time.
And people just didn't mostly die.
That's why leprosy, everyone was touching lepers. It was, that's how you cured them. We didn't send them to colonies and make them live, in a prison.
Right. There weren't leper colonies until 100 or 200 years ago.
Well, I think it's actually a bacteria. So I think it was less than 100 years ago that we finally had the antibiotics to cure it. It was
it
not
was
long
still
ago.
Going on in the 1800s. But...
Yeah, it was not long ago that there were still lepers and leper colonies. So this one day, Noel is not quite at the end of the 22 days. And Cain hasn't had any of the symptoms yet. Most of the time, they just lay still as a board. But this time, Noel jerks around and yells in the nightmare. And then he goes still, and he's dead. Cain is like, what? You can die in the nightmare? Oh, no. Why was he yelling? That never happens. And it's like, so it's not a coma. It's a nightmare. Okay. And so now Cain is on his own, still trying to create the cure because he gets the virus the next day. Noel dies, Cain gets the virus. Here's our next quote. Fact number 3. If you die in the nightmare, you die in real life.
Okay, so Matrix, Elm Street rules.
Yep, because we need more stakes. We need more problems.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty standard.
We jump 15 days into the future. Cain has been infected for 14 days. So we skip all of that first initial time. And he wakes up, tries to work on the cure, runs and feeds the chickens, cooks himself some food, eats some food, and then falls asleep. That's kind of his everyday thing. And he and Noel had a YouTube channel where they would go live talking about the cure they were making.
To who?
All of their dozens and hundreds of fans.
Right, but...
that are still alive and awake.
And speak English.
And have internet and electricity.
Right, even though there's no one maintaining the electricity and internet. What?
Uh-huh.
Okay, yeah.
And this is a key plot point. This is a core part of the story is
Real
he goes
important
live.
That they have YouTube.
They have YouTube Live. And of course they call it some other junk name.
Sure, yeah.
Whatever.
WeTube.
Yes. And he sets alarms to tell him when the sleep is coming. You know, in 5 hours, alarm goes off, and then 5 minutes, alarm, 1 minute alarm. So he can get himself laid down and be ready and not like fall over and bash his head in. He's still eating a couple potatoes, a couple eggs a day.
I mean, spending most of his time sleeping. It doesn't need that much energy.
I guess, but you would be wasting. All of your muscles would be wasting away. Even just like, I've been sick in bed for a week. And then when I'm finally better, I'm like, oh God, I'm so tired, and it takes time to rebuild your strength. Imagine doing that for weeks. For these really long periods of time. We go with him into the nightmare, into the tunnel, and the tunnel feels like this oppressive depression. It's just dark, and it feels like the darkness is crushing you. But this time, he decides he's going to leave the tunnel. Because I thought it was like a hole in the ground. Apparently, it's a hole in the ground sideways. And you can go out of the hole. So I thought it was a vertical hole where you were surrounded and like also had a roof around you. Like you were in this circular hole.
Right.
But no, it's a tunnel that can go forward.
Huh.
And this is the day he decides to walk forward down the tunnel.
How many times has he been doing this?
14 times. This is his 15th time.
And this is the first time he's just
walked. Yeah, moved.
Because he's like at this point, he's spending most of his time.
Yes.
Why has he been fucking around the other 14 days?
Because it's too oppressive. It's too heavy. The darkness is too heavy. This is what depression must feel like. This is what his mom must have felt like.
Okay. Heavy-handed, I guess.
He starts going through the tunnel. He runs, and eventually he sees light at the end of the tunnel.
So wait, he didn't know... Wait.
Because the tunnel was completely dark.
Right, it's completely dark. How did he know which way was forward if there wasn't a light at the end of the tunnel?
He just like feels around and sees that there's space and starts moving down and just starts running that way because he's a special boy. Everyone else has only talked about there being a tunnel. No one else has ever said there's an exit to the tunnel, but he found one.
Why was everyone excited to go do this shit then, if it's just tunnel VR?
Because this is the nightmare virus, and this is a dream that nobody would have chosen to go into.
Okay.
This is like, no one knows who programmed it, no one knows why you're forced into it. Because all the other dreams were really, really fun. You know, fantasies, you get to be king for a day.
Okay.
Stuff like that. You get to go be in Lord of the Rings for a week.
Sure.
And here is... where we come up with the time rules. 1 hour in our time
we're dilating time
is
so
5 hours, and there is their time. So 1 day here is 5 days there.
Why do they all do that?
Because they want to fit more story in it, I think.
Like, why have the arbitrary... Like, if you just make more time, you're constraining yourself with this weird 22 days thing.
Yes, there's no reason.
You're holding yourself... Yeah.
Yeah. He runs towards the end of the tunnel, and the tunnel opens into a cage. And he's really angry and relieved because he's out of the tunnel, but now he's angry because he's in a cage, and the sky is dark gray, and there's voices. Quote, I shake one of the bars. Hey! Oh, we've gotten anger, the voice says. I turn, trying to find it. Finally, someone else says. I'm so sick of fears. They're dull. And predictable, the first voice chimes. Don't know how they get out of the tunnel at all. I search for the source of the voices, but my gaze catches on 3 other tunnels like mine, their mouths forming a semicircle around a gravel clearing. The tunnels disappear into an earthen wall with dead grass along the brow, almost like possessed hobbit holes. So the entrance to this world is a tunnel, and then if you exit the tunnel, you end up in a cage where people are waiting to grab you. And this story is full of basically millennial nerdom references.
Oh.
Like, all of the references are Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Princess Bride, and nothing is newer than that. Obviously, the author is 40 years old, but this is set way in the future. And so I found that really aggravating that this character is supposed to be 19. He's been in community college for 1 year.
Yeah, that is a little weird.
This is set way in the future. This book was written in 2024. And the references are stuff we get, and we're in our 30s.
Right. I get having a demographic in mind, I guess. But yeah, within the setting of the story, it just doesn't make any sense. It's just kind of trashy reference humor.
It's really trashy reference humor. It always comes across as like kind of forced and stupid. Like they call their trailer that gets pulled.
They got the Deadpool virus, and now everyone has to make references, and that's the only thing that's funny.
Mm-hmm. Because literally their trailer that they live in, they call it the Fire Swamp. Yeah, and everything has to have a Princess Bride or Lord of the Rings, or Harry Potter.
Why would you call
lame.
the trailer the Fire Swamp?
I know, because it's not.
That doesn't make any sense.
It's supposed to be home.
Right. Like, if you were gonna. Let's see. What would be a good reference for.
They wanted to call it the House of Unusual Size, but that just acronyms back to house. And that was the best joke in the whole book.
That's clever.
That was the best joke in the whole book. And they refused to do that because it's clever, I guess.
Yeah, that's just better.
It is. Yeah.
Why did you go with Fire Swamp? That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know.
Fine.
Kane finally realizes that this is a dreamscape with other people in it. And this is when we find out that dreamscapes can't have other people in it. That breaks all the dream rules.
Well, we just established that rule and we're just immediately breaking it. Okay.
We break it and then tell us. Because there's supposed to be something, you yourself get a shot, you go lay down and have a nice nap.
Yeah, you're having your own personal dream.
Yes, with NPCs. You're in a video game of your own by yourself, because how on earth would you connect multiple people into a single dream if it's a shot you take? But this is actually the Matrix. This isn't an actual dream, because he keeps saying, oh, this breaks all the rules. We can't have more than one or two people in a dream at a time. Yeah. Oh, look, the entire world's population is here in a shared dream. How? So this is when we find out he thinks everybody are NPCs or avatars. They're like, nope, we're real people. What? But as the reader, I'm like, I didn't know what the real worlds were to now be surprised.
Yeah. That seems to be like kind of a trope with it seems like male power fantasies in general. We establish a rule just so it can be broken. And like, it really sucks, because when you establish rules like that for a world and then find a really good way to subvert it that actually like has like genuine surprise and like can make a story feel like that revelation can feel more powerful than if you just immediately subvert it.
And like, my assumption going into the story was that everyone was in the same nightmare because of the way it was presented. It's the nightmare virus that everyone catches.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they all be in the same dream? We're playing with magic rules anyway.
Right.
So there was no reason to make this be different than normal rules. The other thing could be that he's only a first year engineer, and he doesn't actually know all the rules, and all of the stuff he thinks is bullshit.
I mean, that's
and he actually
possible.
thinks
It's
that
just
to
not...
himself at one point in the book. Maybe my school was really bad because none of this stuff is obeying any of the rules I believed. Which makes me wonder if maybe he was just supposed to be really
that
stupid.
just makes our narrator just really dumb. Like if someone is like telling me about a video game and they're giving me all the rules and stuff like that, and they're just wrong about everything, I don't want to play with them anymore, and I don't want to play with this narrator anymore.
Right. And that was part of just because he's not as smart as Noel, but then Noel died, so we only have him. Everything is first person, so we're just observing stuff, and then it's being interpreted through him to us. He is seeing the things and saying in his head, oh, it must be like this because I went to school. And we can't know what actual reality is because of our narrator. And in like a horror or something, that can be really good. You have a unreliable narrator that can cause tension or whatever. Or you don't actually know what's going on, then that creates suspense.
Right. Or you...
But when it's stupidity...
Yeah, when the crux of knowing the rules is whether the person telling the story is an idiot, kind of just makes it annoying.
Yeah. So there's this group of people there. and they collect the people out of the cages and put them in a cart and take them to a place. One of the guys' name is James, and he's not an NPC, he's a human. And James says that they're going to a coliseum, and Cain's only reference to that is the gladiator. So there's lots of gladiator references too. And the two types of dreamers are fears and angers. So in this world, your emotions are hugely heightened. Any little emotion you would feel becomes a tantrum. Any fear becomes cowering in the corner, crying and peeing your pants. You can't just feel something. You physically react to the thing. That's what he tells us, but doesn't show us in the entire story. He tells us we're angry, but nobody's fist fighting in the streets. Nobody is actually screaming at each other.
No, that's definitely the worst. That is the worst way to do it. Because like telling it and showing it, but telling it and not showing it, that's much worse. Because the best version of that is just seeing that whenever you're in the dream, everyone is just cranked up to 11 with everything.
Yeah, and they're not. People do very little at all, actually. The people gathering them up in the cart are called vetters, and they have Gladius. Cain is the one who's really angry, so he wants to fight. Everyone else is afraid, so they're hiding in a corner. So he's like, let me out. And they're just all like, oh. And he's the special boy. He's the rare anger who are interesting and curious. And then they're like, oh, you're a curious anger. Isn't that interesting? Because he's like, what is this world? What is going on? Who are you? What is this?
I'm the only one who's ever asked questions.
Yes, he is. There's another prisoner called Eric, and he talks to Cain. And he's like, well, what's your name? And Cain says, Cain Cross. And he jokes about Cain having religious parents. And Cain says his mom and brother were. So he's no longer a Christian because of all the mommy depression and mommy cancer. And they shake hands, and something sparks for a minute in their hands. So it's like an electric shock, but you can see it when the two people touch.
Okay.
And it unnerves James because James was able to see the spark, and he gets upset, and he has to take the cart to the city, and he's worried about spores attacking. So we're trying to do world building, and we're trying to create suspense. It's just not
selling it.
Not cohesive right now.
Because again, you're immediately having a rule broken without telling us, why immediately, like just to ramp up the suspense, I guess. But also it's a rule we can't know about yet.
Right.
And haven't been told. And it's, again, just another subversion to make the main character look cooler.
Right.
Or for him to be special.
James acting nervous makes Cain realize that the nightmare is dangerous. And maybe something in the nightmare killed Noel.
Didn't he already know that? Like, we established that rule, right? He established that rule to us by this point.
Yes, we have to repeat stuff actually quite a lot in this book. And I tried to skip as much of that as I could. But right now, he's like... Also, the book will tell us stuff and then later introduce stuff to him. Because we didn't have an editor go through and do, timeline cohesion or whatever. To make sure, you're calling this person Eric... before they introduce themselves. That kind of thing happened in the book. But it doesn't actually really matter. He can hear the sounds of animals just in the fog. Because this world is really dark. Everything is like foggy and dark. And there's no sun. There's just kind of light in the sky. And it's just really heavy and oppressive. They see the Colosseum, and it's on fire. Later on, you just find out it's a fire to make it so nobody can get in or out. It's not, like, on
it's just
fire.
It's a level cap.
Yes.
Or
It's like a
limitation.
defensive fire thing that is just to give light. It creates the light for the people because the fire dims at night and brightens in the day.
Yeah, you have to do this quest before we open the gates for you to proceed
and you can't
in the level.
Get out unless you have a scroll. So you get in if you're in this cart and the guy has the scroll. You get out if you have a scroll.
Okay.
They're almost there when spores attack by throwing down burning railroad ties in front of the wagon. And the wagon was still going pretty fast because the horse could jump, but the wagon couldn't. So crash, everything crashes. The spores are human-shaped, but they don't hold their swords. Their swords float around them and fight people on their behalf.
So the spores, which I'm assuming are just kind of like a fungus thing?
No, it's a human-shaped person.
Right.
But
they're being
called
controlled?
spores. These enemies are called spores. They're human people wearing cloaks with swords that float around and defend them.
Okay.
And fight on their behalf.
Okay, but other than that, they're just normal people?
Yes.
That have telepathy.
Yes.
Sword telepathy.
Yes. And so they attack the cart and James.
And they're just bandits?
Kind of.
Okay, so they're more like a faction.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Cain grabs a stick to defend himself, and two of the spores grab Eric, the guy whose name he learned. Eventually, they drag Eric off. They just grab him and drag him off. One of the spores stabs James in the skull, and so he falls over. Cain fights a guy who smells like, quote, hot tar and manure. He literally takes the time in the middle of a fight to think, God, this guy needs a shower. Because we're cool and edgy. Yeah. And ha-ha snark.
Whatever level of action writing there is, that does just kind of undercut it. It
does. Because it's like, oh, I'm defending myself with a wagon wheel. Oh, I throw the sword aside. Ha. P.U.
Yeah, we're interrupting the rhythm so that we can just make a joke.
Mm-hmm. And look, because he's a snarky 19-year-old guy.
Right, because everyone's Deadpool now.
Yes. Cain apparently has been in street fights before in his Christian upbringing with Noel and his mom, but we never find out details. He just can defend himself, so he's fine. And in this, he's fine, and he just swings around with a stick, and he's cool. Mm-hmm. And
was that established before this, or was this established
no, in this
during
moment,
this?
He's thinking to himself, oh yeah,
good thing I was in all those street fights growing up.
Yes. That is what he literally thinks to himself.
That's so fucking clunky.
In the middle
I hate that.
Yes. And suddenly there's a big shadow overhead, and everyone ducks and looks, and it's a man on a stingray, and he lassos one of the smallest spore people and picks her up onto the stingray. He flies back over the Colosseum wall. He literally just comes in, kidnaps one of the people, and takes back off.
I just needed a sacrifice. Hold on.
A couple of the spores die. I've guessed before he lassoed that one, he threw lightning at somebody else. Fight. One of the ladies yells, Olivia! At the one that got kidnapped. And then a centurion comes out, and so the centurion, Cain, a couple of the fears run into the Colosseum, and the spores grab whoever they stabbed and could grab a hold of and run the other way.
Okay.
And that's the end of that fight.
I'm glad we established Olivia's name.
Yes. Up till now, Cain is still under the impression that the spores are like avatars, and that's to prove they're real people. Mm-hmm. But I never believed that they weren't people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the annoying thing about this kind of story is that it assumes you already know a bunch of these deep dive RPG story tropes.
Right, it's assuming I understand we're in a D&D world.
Yeah.
And I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that part's just strange. So they get into the Colosseum, and the centurion puts iron collars around all of their necks. Because they're slaves. And they get led into a barracks, and the centurion, his name is Crixus, and he tells them that they are Noxiors, their word for gladiators, and they can earn their citizenship in Tenebra, this dream world, and they have to fight in games in order to gain citizenship and be considered people. Crixus tells them to rest and go take a nap, which Cain knows isn't possible in a dreamscape. And then Crixus tells them to go eat food. And Cain knows
also
that
can't do in a dreamscape.
Yes.
But we're gonna do that though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You need to sleep and eat in this dream world, which breaks all the rules, but it nourishes your brain.
What? It nourishes your brain.
I'm trying to remember if it actually does impact. I think they do establish in Tenebra you do need to eat and sleep, or your Tenebra person is the bad off.
I mean, it would affect your stats.
Yes.
Because this is just a video game. This is just a deep dive VR video game.
I think it does affect your stats if you don't eat and sleep in Tenebra.
So, yeah, this just is a deep dive VR game. Okay.
It's just a video game in the Matrix.
All the setup and stuff obscured that to me for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely what that is. God, yeah, like I was saying earlier, sometimes these stories, if they're the first time you're reading them, and a lot of times it's just established rules in the genre that you just don't get unless you've read like a better version of this. Like Dungeonborn. Dungeonborn is a much better version of this. It didn't have like the deep dive aspect, but it's got a lot of the lit RPG rules and tropes and stuff like that. And it eventually did become a deep dive RPG storyline. This one just isn't like establishing its own rules. It's just kind of cribbing off of the genre and not like being its own thing, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's why I hate those. I hate lit RPGs and stuff like that anymore because they're just... It depends on you already knowing so much about just the genre that it's okay with just being lazy.
Yeah, and like, I've read a ton of science fiction. Mm-hmm. I do not read lit RPGs. Mm-hmm. So that is part of why, going through this, I just kept feeling confused because science fiction usually tries to establish its own world with consistent rules. Mm. And if we're going to be like Star Trek, we're just like Star Trek. Yeah. We don't say, hey, I'm in a Star Trek world. Whoops, you're a Jedi. Mm-hmm. You know, like, we're just trying to generally be more consistent, and this one is... And that's why I was like, this isn't Christian. Okay, we're Cain Cross, but that's the only thing. Oh, and his mom and brother were Christian. Yeah. Okay, moving on. Why would I assume this is a Christian analogy or an allegory or something?
Yeah, it's just a completely disconnected kind of storytelling with some Christian veneer on it.
Right. So Crixus says that this is a dreamscape gone wrong, and he smells like bad. He smells bad, like blood, body odor, and something else. Because smells in this world matter.
Shit?
Yep, shit matters.
He smells like shit?
He smells like shit. This is when Cain finds out everyone in the stream is real people. There's no avatars, which actually isn't true because there's dream mist beasts, and those are created in the dream, and those are NPC avatars.
Mobs.
They're just monsters. Mm-hmm. So we do have in-dream creatures that follow their own rules in the dream and are not people, but we're saying there's no in-dream avatars.
Right.
Because we're not consistent with following, because even if it's just a cow, that's still an NPC. Mm-hmm. It's just not a human-looking one.
Usually they call them like mobs.
Right.
In the genre.
Cain is defiant. You won't break me. I won't fight in your fights. I'm not going to sleep. You can't make me. And Crixus says, these are the rules. I'm just telling you the actual rules of Tenebra. Mm-hmm. You can believe what you want. You can act how you want. This is what's going on. Because Cain has to be defiant. He's in anger. Mm-hmm. And Crixus says that when Cain sleeps in the real world, he'll return right back to wherever he left his dream body. Because it would have caused too many problems to every time end up in the tunnel and have to run into the real world.
Right.
We have to move the spawn point to wherever you were previously spawned. Mm-hmm. Or no, where you left.
So, like, his body isn't just, like, sitting in the dream world and people can, like, move it around.
Correct.
And he won't wake up in some strange area. Because that would have been fun. That would have been funner.
Yeah.
If they move here.
Yeah.
But that's just not how video games work.
Right. So when you exit the video game, you re-enter at your save point. Mm-hmm. And that's when your body says, oh, my 8 hours of forced Tenebra time is over. I can be awake now.
Yeah.
So he says, fall asleep in these beds, and when you come back, you'll be in this bed. Mm-hmm. And you kind of want to go back to the real world in a spot that you want to return to. But we also break that rule later. Because nothing matters. Anyway.
So no one in this story is, like, addressing, like, the real world at all.
Not in Tenebra.
Okay.
Because we'll return to the real world. We're just currently in sleep number 15 or whatever.
Right, but everyone else is also in, like, a series of sleeps.
Correct.
And
or
one's
in their
talking
permanent
about-
sleep.
Yeah. Okay, so when you're in the permanent sleep, your consciousness stays in the video game?
Yes,
Okay.
forever.
Okay,
And you never leave.
gotcha.
So Cain is doing, I'll show you. Hold me back, hold me back. And I have the quote for it. To show you her amazing skills at writing.
Please.
Quote, I'm not cowed. I'll show him. He may have turned himself into some cosplay centurion and found a shiny sword, but I'm not giving up on the real world yet. I won't surrender. He slams the door. A lock clicks. I settle onto the first empty cot my feet hit. He was right. It's dirty and unwashed, and it smells like 10 other sweaty men. Or maybe that's the room in general, which seems to be snoring from its very stones. I won't let this nightmare beat me, no matter how intricate it is. I will figure out how it works, and then I'll tear it down.
I see.
Doesn't he sound intimidating and scary?
Yeah.
He's our hero.
He has charmed me with his equal parts snark and ferocity.
And I'm only going to talk about this once, but this was an audiobook, and I hated how this author, or how this narrator, read this book. He finished most of the sentences with a soft in-breath. I'm not cowed. I'll show him. He may have turned himself into some cosplay centurion and found a shiny sword, but I'm not giving up on the real world yet. I won't surrender. He slams the door. A lock clicks. I'm exaggerating slightly. But it really reminded me of Eve, the character in Lucifer, the television show, because she is very breathy. She is the entire show because she's an airhead. She is supposed to be, she never finishes a sentence. We usually close our mouths at the end of a sentence because we are making a statement. We don't do a end.
Verbal period.
Of like
A silent verbal period.
Yes. And I noticed the only times we didn't have that little intake of breath was when we were like yelling or making an exclamation. Which meant this narrator knew when to sometimes use a closed mouth to finish a sentence.
Yeah, it kind of just sounds like bad editing. A little bit. Because
Could have been.
I cut out all kinds of R breathing. It's a little meticulous, so it could just be that it's lazy editing. But
It was so close to the end of the word, though. If you cut it, it would sound like you were cutting the word.
okay.
I think the narrator needed better
Coaching?
coaching. Yes. Needed to be a better narrator. I don't know. And I'm not a voice actor. I have not been trained or know about all of that. I just know that breath work is really important when you are.
Right.
But it reminded me of Fourth Wing. And the narrator was speaking in such a rushed, hurried, angry tone of voice that it made the story overstimulating. And in this one, he was just...
That's going to make for terrible audio, just so you know.
I know.
People aren't going to know what you're doing.
Maybe they'll hear it. Quick little in-breaths. That's what I was doing. Cain wakes up in the real world and is excited with the discovery that the nightmare is actually a dreamscape, which means it was designed because...
The technology virus, yes.
Yes. That they were trying to cure with the magic serum was designed by a person. It wasn't random.
Yeah. Honestly, it would be
And
really weird if it was.
it would
just
be
random.
exactly and
A
hitting
random
everybody.
supervirus.
I know. Most people who ended up infected died of a coma, or the people around them killed them, unless they had a life support, which is what they call a life support system. And he had life support.
Yeah, that's stupid.
It's stupid. He had hoped to borrow one to keep Noel alive. These homeless kids who live in an RV were hoping to
That are
borrow
living off of one potato and egg.
a day because none of these people actually have real plans. It's just reactions that they try to claim were plans.
Yeah.
He thinks he can rewrite the code to wake up in a Magicerum, but he'll have to steal some. And it's a good thing that he knows how to get in trouble and steal stuff like he had to do as a teenager because his mom was so depressed and not taking care of him.
Uh-huh. So he was getting in street fights. He had a job at 13. He was also stealing shit.
So he writes. He pulls up YouTube and does a live to a dozen people to tell them he's working on a cure. Quote, "I'm still working on it. I have Noel's notes and I share his blood. It's not the end yet. I almost mentioned that there's an exit to the tunnel, but at the last minute I keep that information to myself. The world outside of the tunnel almost killed me and resulted in my being trapped in the Colosseum for gladiator servitude. From this perspective, the tunnel almost seems safer."
I mean, I guess.
I love how being
I'm-
related to someone who's smart means he'll be able to
Yeah.
solve this.
But also, that's like taking away from the stakes that are in the dream. Because, like, is that important or not?
No clue. He just makes random choices, and we don't know why. And the author doesn't tell us.
You know who else makes random choices?
It's too early for an ad break.
No, it's not. It's been an hour. Me, I make random choices as to which podcast advertiser that I'm going to pretend we have, even though we don't. And this time it's Blue Apron, because I haven't heard from them in like a year or two.
Yeah, they used to be on all the podcasts.
Yeah, it's only HelloFresh now. That's the only one I hear about anymore.
Maybe they bought out Blue Apron.
Maybe they lost a lot of money with their child hunting island.
You have to bleep that. That was the one Robert Evans. Right. Sophie actually sounded really mad when he would start doing that bit.
I think it's because he kept doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, now it's all the sex toys. All of the YouTubers and stuff, people have like Bolessa and all these other sex toys.
Yeah, if it's not boner pills, it's sex toys.
Yep. Oh, I've seen a couple mattress ones. Those have been a while, I think.
Yeah, I haven't heard an actual. I think that's the one I usually go to, is like a purple mattress.
Oh, Quince, the clothing one. That's on several podcasts I've heard recently.
I don't hear that one very often.
That one's on No Sleep and
yeah, that's right. I have heard that one on No Sleep.
That one where it's the guy against AI. And he's always yelling. He's a British guy who yells. I can't remember which one what that one's called.
Anyway, ads. And we're back from not an ad, actually.
Because we don't have those because we're poor. We're too
likes
weirdo. Send us to all of your friends so we can eventually get an ad.
Yeah, I want money and to stop working.
I would like this podcast to pay for itself.
Yeah.
Kane falls asleep and wakes up in the barracks. It's breakfast. He sits at the wrong bench, and a woman tells him to leave, and he won't because he's a big, strong Inger. A big man tells him to leave, and he literally growls.
Oh, God.
We do the, I growled at him. Arr. And the woman then decides that Kane can stay and to leave him alone. Basically, he's like, I don't need some woman to defend me.
Yeah, that kind of just makes Kane sound like an asshole.
He is an asshole. And he wants to get in a fight at the table, but instead Crixus comes in and they all turn and obediently listen to him.
Okay.
In this world of heightened fear and anger, everyone just obediently listens to Crixus and
Weirdly
obeys.
under control. Yeah.
Yes. Helene is the woman, and she's another Anger, so she likes Kane. Okay. And there's only a couple Angers, so they're special.
See, no. The thing that would make the most sense is for Angers to pair up with Fears.
And bully them.
Yeah. That's the toxic relationship that should be the norm in this.
Yeah, because
Anger shouldn't be hanging out.
Anger should be beating the shit out of each other.
Right.
They should look at each other and immediately be tomcats going at it. Mm-hmm. But no, she likes him because he's also angry. But it's not hot because we are Christian.
I'm glad it's not hot.
We can't be a Mr. and Mrs. Smith because we're Christian and chaste.
So no angry sex.
Nope, none. Crixus is telling them the rules. You have to fight in these games. If you're a newbie, you go in the easy games with little mist beasts. Once you fight those, you go and fight against bigger beasts. And then once you fight those, you have to fight each other, and you have to kill a human to become a citizen of Tenebra.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
this is just a tournament arc.
Yeah. This is the quote that I absolutely love. Quote, "He doesn't seem to care if we live or die, and that's a problem for me, especially when I have so much riding on my survival. I can't let myself die, not even if it's in style."
What?
As if nobody else cares about their survival.
Right.
He's unique in this drive to live.
It's like, I'm the only one who wants to live.
He doesn't care if I live or die.
It's so...
That's a problem.
It's so bizarrely... It's so written. It's so very written. And never said out loud.
I know. Like, this is the writing of a 12-year-old boy. This is a boy child's fantasy.
Yeah.
These are the little kids I did stick fighting with when I was a small homeschool kid.
God, that's so weird.
The writing is bad. That's kind of...
Like, at best, it's like bad anime writing. Because that's how, like, the anime characters talk.
Cain is angry, because he's in anger.
Right.
But he decides he'll follow the rules to survive.
Well, I'm glad we're keeping our emotions under control.
And Crixus warns him that anger is dangerous and has to be managed. Cain gets a weapon that is...
It's like everyone's managing it fucking perfectly.
Yeah, nobody is going insane. I was expecting everyone to be at each other's throats.
Right.
Because if you have someone who is fearful enough, they will absolutely tear you to shreds. Fear doesn't always mean running away. It can mean violence.
Yeah. And that could be a cool wrinkle if at the end of the story you're just like, oh, the angers are just the most fearful of all or something. That could be poignant.
And his anger is never an actual problem in the story. It should be. It should be a constant problem.
Yeah,
Never
it's clear. It's setting it up right there. Just being like, yeah, you have to learn how to manage your anger, and it's just not an issue, actually.
In fact, it's only useful to him. Crixus is the one saying, control your anger, it's dangerous. And then Cain uses his anger to gain power and fame.
The meta-narrative is telling you, yeah, anger is good.
Yes. He gets a weapon that is called a mist blade, and it only kills mist animals created in Tenebra. It can't kill people. Chris blades or gold blades or something else are the ones that can kill humans.
So we've got a Percy Jackson pin blade.
The games are starting, and the Emperor announces that they rescued 3 children from the spores and are able to reunite 2 of them with their family. Cain is angry that the same people who cheer for family reunification are about to cheer about people dying. All of the citizens of Tenebra go to the arena, sit in the stands, and enjoy the games. Each of them had to go through the arena and kill a person in order to get a seat.
Right.
They are all cheering it on, and it's good fun because we're wanting to do the Roman death games.
Yeah.
And he says, how can they cheer for these children being given to their parents and then also cheer when I get stabbed?
Yeah. Sounds like those things are totally disconnected and don't really have anything to do with each other. And this is just the standard of the society that you're in.
Yeah.
You whiny weirdo. Some things just don't need a comment from the narrator, but we still got to be plucky and snarky. So.
Yeah, we need to be...
Can't not be commenting.
Basically. And this one is one of the few times I would say an author really, really needed a thesaurus. Most of the time, I get pissed because they obviously used a thesaurus. This time I'm saying, God damn it, woman, buy one.
You know what pisses me off is the way you say thesaurus.
I had it
insane.
Wait, you had that problem with Lily, didn't you?
Yes.
I got it beat into me. It is thesaurus. Thesaurus. I don't even know which to say now. My mom got mad and pissed at me, whichever way I said it, so now I have to say it that one way.
Yeah, your mom was hella wrong. It's thesaurus.
But that would be like a dinosaur, and that's the wrong way.
Yeah, that's how it's spelled.
Because, see, that's how I said it the first time. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got hit.
Because that's how it's spelled.
Okay. I'm sorry. My trauma will say it however it comes out.
I'm not mad at you. That's just an insane way to say thesaurus. And if I don't say it, someone's going to say it.
I apologize to all of the pedants in the audience who hate me. Just hate my mom. It's fine.
Yeah, we all hate your mom.
Yeah. Okay, anyways, I wish they had the book that told them multiple words of the same meaning. Mm-hmm. Quote, anger wins. I turn toward the others in this holding space to see if they share any of the same fury at such a spectacle. The other Noxiers don't even seem to have paid attention. They bow beneath the weight of their puny mist blades and the pressure of fear, trembling, thin and hollow-eyed, pathetic. For some reason, that makes me more angry. Angry that they could allow this nightmare to cow them so much. Angry that I'm being controlled by Crixus and his system that takes advantage of those of us infected with the nightmare virus. Angry that the only place I get to experience a pathetic display of false sunlight is while fighting for my life as an entertainment pawn. Angry that I'm stuck in this holding place while my fury builds.
I get it. You're not happy with your circumstances.
And we're just angry.
Yeah. I mean, at least we know what the one dimension of this character is. Mm-hmm. It's definitely just angry.
Fight finally starts. A bull charges him, and he somersaults over it. It turns around, charges again, and the anger unleashes from him because it's a superpower in this world. It turns into mist wings on his back and a mist spear in his hand, and he kills it spectacularly. It's amazing, and no one else has done anything like it so soon. And he earns the name Icarus. And Crixus takes him to the Emperor.
That's so annoying. That's... The thought that, hundreds of thousands? I don't know how many people are in this city. I'm imagining a lot.
The entire population of the world is in Tenebra.
They haven't just died and not made it in? Like, I feel like that...
Some of them have... we never find out the actual population of this place.
Okay. So, yeah, the idea that, you're the first one in what is essentially an MMO to do this crazy thing.
Months after this thing started happening.
Yeah, it's just special boy syndrome. It's just fucking annoying.
Yep. He goes and he meets the Emperor. He literally thinks to himself, this is a bad place. Anyone in charge is likely untrustworthy. So guess what he does?
Does he attack the Emperor or whatever?
No, he believes him. He trusts him.
Oh.
Because he's stupid.
Yeah.
He's dumb. But this is the guy in power. So he literally thinks to himself, this guy is a bad guy because he's an emperor of an evil Roman Empire. Mm-hmm. And the villain is the guy in power. And then Crixus is like, oh, no, he's not emperor because he's the one in power, or he's the one who, built this. He's emperor because he was the first one out of the tunnels. And he was able to create this entire Colosseum and world all by himself. So when we joined, we were forced to do whatever he wanted.
So he's just a game dev.
Yeah. Who came into this nightmare, figured out how to build stuff in it.
And decided, the best way to do this is to make it an MMO.
Yep. And kill the few remaining humans.
Right.
Because to me, human life would now become so incredibly valuable. I don't understand building a system that kills off. You would have to kill 50% of the people who survived the tunnels. If one person has to kill another person to become a citizen.
Yeah, bare minimum.
Bare minimum 50% survive. Mm-hmm. That's not including if monsters kill them before they get to another human.
Right.
Because we're not going straight to human to human. We're going from human to monster, human to monster, human to human. Mm-hmm. We're thinning out our already minuscule human population.
Yeah. No, it's just... It knows it's a lit RPG, and it just needs to get to do lit RPG things, whether it makes sense or not.
And according to Crixus, the Emperor is not the draftsman. So now we're introducing the concept of a draftsman, and that's the person in real life who actually designs the dream. Because you're not supposed to be able to create anything within the dreams. That's not allowed.
But the Emperor, I thought the Emperor created this.
So we're battling with what Kane's understanding of the rules are and what the actual rules are. So Kane's understanding is it's like a computer game with one level everything is pre-made. You can't change. You can't go into playground mode.
Right.
You are stuck with what is here. And you're stuck in the game. You play the game. You leave the game.
Right. Okay. I'm with you on that.
Okay. The draftsman is whoever wrote the program to make the game.
Yeah, he's the actual game dev.
Yes.
What is the Emperor?
In the Dream Nightmare, he is someone who's able to turn on playground mode, build whatever he wants, turn off playground mode, and everyone else has to play with it.
Okay.
He has God mode. He can tap on his laptop, turn on God mode for himself,
Gotcha.
and everyone else is stuck playing by the game's rules.
Okay. This is kind of just Sword Art Online. Just gonna say that this is basically just Sword Art Online. I don't know if you know what that is.
I don't.
But yeah, it's kind of the anime that popularized the deep dive VR thing. That's like where a lot of the language surrounding that genre comes from.
Okay, I have no idea any of that stuff. So part of Cain being special is he is able to turn on playground mode for himself. He is able to create things out of the night mist, which is just one of the building blocks in this world.
Right.
For himself when he's really angry. We never see anyone else ever use night mist to create things. So Cain walks into this world having an equivalent amount of power to the Emperor.
Okay.
But he agrees to go along with the Emperor because the Emperor is in charge of everything.
Okay.
Kind of with me now?
Yeah.
It takes all of the book for the reader, to understand what I just told you.
Yeah. God, it's just so fucking exhausting what these stories are like because,
The Emperor turns on playground mode, creates a forest in the room on one side, a man cave in the other, puts out an array of food. Cain comes in, they turn it into the man cave. He plops down, he eats pizza. It's delicious, it's amazing. This breaks all the rules because you shouldn't be able to eat food in a video game. Mm-hmm. Crixus was telling him along the way to the path, along the way to the Emperor, no one else got out of the tunnels before day 19. You're the first one since the Emperor to get out early, like only 2 weeks in. So that makes you special. And that's why that plus the ability to play with the Night Mist is why he gets taken to the Emperor and becomes the Emperor's special boy. Uh-huh. And we use the Emperor to comment on Cain and how special he is, and how powerful and inquisitive and angry and not afraid he is. Because that's what we are just doing the power fantasy, and now we're observed and liked by the most powerful man.
Yeah, it's just pure ego. Like, it's just that ego and catharsis, and, like, it's like simulating recognition and validation for, honestly, sad boys who don't get it in their regular day life. Is who I feel like this is marketed towards.
Cain is defiant because that's his personality. And then everyone acts. Cain believes he's the only one resisting the Emperor, disagreeing with anything, and trying to cure the nightmare. Throughout the entire book, Cain is the only one who cares about defeating the virus, challenging the Emperor, or doing anything different.
Yeah, everyone else is a follower, and he's the lone wolf special boy.
I think I literally wrote on here, lone wolf. The Emperor wants to be buddies, because...
he's intimidated by Cain's power.
Yeah, and here's a realistic challenge to his power because this guy can create stuff out of night mist. That's not actually ever explicitly said, and it should have been a much bigger part of the plot. It's actually just moved past because he's such a special boy. We comment on it to make him feel special, but we never use it.
Right. Do you think he got the name Cain because he's the first angry person in the Bible?
It's really funny. That was a criticism people on Goodreads had of this book. His name is Cain, and there's no reason why. He doesn't even murder anybody. And he should. Like, there's times he should be doing angry things.
Oh, so he doesn't murder anybody. So he's going to go through this tournament arc and then be like, I'm not going to kill him because I'm morally upright.
It's really strange how we give him this name and never use it. Or never set him up as the first murderer or even use it. We just picked this name arbitrarily. But we do find out the name of the Emperor. Quote, the name's Luce. Some call me the Emperor because I create so much.
God damn it.
But aside from that, I let the people rule themselves. No last name, Luce. Ifer, maybe. He laughs. There's that skepticism. Good, good.
I'm cringing out of my skin right now.
His calm and humor set me at ease despite my wariness.
I hate this. I don't even have any commentary because it's just like, kind of like what you were saying earlier. It's just like you can't really nail down why you hate it, but it's just.
I was trying to say, like, maybe you can help me why I hate this so much.
Nah, I never put words to it. I'm just like, I don't like the way this makes me feel. I think I've gotten a little better about putting words to it, but.
So we get exposition. A lot of the world building I've already told you, because now we have the emperor to give why Cain is such a special boy. In the real world, only rich people have life suppods. But in this world, Luce is really powerful. And in the original world, his dad was really powerful. So he has a spare life suppod that he could give to Cain if Cain works for him. So this is how he can...
This is our stakes now.
This is our stakes. Cain is dying.
Because we can't solve the problems in this book because we have to set up for a sequel.
No.
It doesn't set up for a sequel?
It does not. It actually has a full ending.
That I am shocked about. I am absolutely... You know what? This actually jumps up a letter grade in my mind because it's not panning for a sequel at the end.
When we get to the end, I will challenge you on that.
The next question is whether it's a satisfying ending, but...
When we get to the end, you'll decide on that. So now it's like he won't tell him what he wants Cain to do. He's just saying, friends who are loyal to me get life suppods. So now Cain's like, well, if that means I can live, I guess I'll become friends to the emperor. Because he's just a piece of shit.
I guess I'll get in this position of power.
Right. If it means my physical body can survive.
And get to live.
And he doesn't like the gladiator games. He doesn't trust Luce. But Luce says it's the culture here. And Cain decides for a chance of life... Fine. The emperor refers to the real world as the old world and Tenebra as home. And that bothers Cain. Because to Cain, the real world is home and Tenebra should be the nightmare.
Right.
But Luce has made it his home. And that is a distinction that matters later.
Yeah.
Cain wakes up. He breaks into a lab at the school. And he creates a cure with the little bit of leftover Imagicserum that the school has.
How did he get the formula?
He writes it on paper because he's smart.
I may have missed it earlier. What was the thing that caused him to just suddenly know it?
He shares the same blood as Noel.
God damn it. That's not...
He literally sits down and does math until he maths a cure.
Oh, so he just wasn't trying hard enough until his brother died?
I guess.
Kind of just makes him
It's like now knowing that this was designed by somebody was the breakthrough he needed.
I don't know why... What changes that makes the math suddenly easier?
But he breaks into a school lab where he was learning about Imagicserum. They still have fridges that are cold and keeping stuff, I guess, where the stuff is shelf stable.
How convenient. He's
able to run the generator, to run the equipment, to spin and mix and boot up the laptop and computer. He has a little mental fantasy about how amazing it'll be that a kid with 1 year of school will create the cure when all the brilliant scientists failed.
It's just pure ego.
Yep. He is like, Noel never gave up hope, so I can't either. This is where I wrote about the amount of people dead and all the dying bodies, blah, blah, blah. And the other thing that I was thinking about is all of the children and animals and elderly would be dead because their able-bodied adult caretakers would be dead.
Right.
So even if you had old people who never had a dream, are not in the nightmare, they would be dead from malnutrition, not being cared for, and if you had any babies or toddlers, they would all be dead from neglect. So we would have more than just the adults who had tried this stuff out. And I don't know how you have humans left surviving unless you have like far-off rural populations who never used this technology.
Right.
But the book is very clear that every human in the world is infected, which I find stupid.
Yeah, just kind of a lazy premise. Which, of course, it will subvert and change the rules whenever it conveniences the story.
Yeah. And in my mind, this should be terrifying. The idea of 90% of the people I've ever known all being dead, that should be absolutely horrifying. He should be mourning hundreds of people. Like, if I knew everyone at college that I knew was dead, I would be grief-stricken, even if they're people I knew for a year and never saw again.
Or just broadly mourning for humanity, the loss of humanity, like the majority of humanity.
I really hate how it is like he was born yesterday and he has no human connections. He doesn't have people from church he mourns. And the book never thinks about it. The book never addresses it. We just have humans when we want humans for the plot. They pop up to make things happen. They disappear because we don't care anymore. It's myopic and it's so self-centered and self-focused.
Does the other anger girl ever come up? Because she got a name, didn't she?
She matters once.
And then just disappears?
Yeah.
Oh, what about that girl that got picked up and thrown into the Coliseum?
She does matter.
She does matter.
She comes up later and she does matter. I kind of thought, since
she got very specifically named, as she...
Yeah. I mean, the lack of characters would be understandable because of how shrunk down humanity is. Also, everyone in this world speaks English, and they're all American. Because don't you know...
I mean, you could solve that just by being like, oh, it's the program is just translating everything. We're actually speaking two different languages, but we have a translator, so it doesn't matter. And we're just real time speaking the same language.
We're just kind of dealing with that phenomenon of Americans talking online about laws and assuming this applies everywhere because I'm an American and the only country is USA.
Or the national language of everyone in space is English.
Yeah. Like, it literally is just, it's happening to here, therefore it's happening everywhere. And then we're going to make everyone fall asleep in this shared dream, but we're all white and American. And I think that's just the author not caring.
Yeah. It would be a fun wrinkle if this was only happening in America.
That would make more sense to me, honestly.
Yeah, I think it would be funnier.
I think it'd be
Everyone else in the world is just like, what are they doing now?
Why have they killed themselves again? Kane has made the cure. He doesn't know it'll work. He turns on YouTube to make a live a few minutes before the sleep is going to get him. He drinks his cure and he waits. The mist enters his eyes, because remember, we have to have a physical manifestation, and he's on live and they can see his face, and then the mist goes away. The cure worked. And people watching him now want the cure because they saw that he was supposed to fall asleep. It wasn't him just saying, oh, I'm supposed to fall asleep at 6 a.m. Oh, look, I didn't. I'm cured. Because you could have anybody peddling anything if they were doing that. We have to have a physical reason for them to believe him.
Right.
He's excited because it's cured. Everyone online is excited because it's cured. He decides he's not going to be like those stupid health scientists who test things before declaring a cure. He emails all the public officials who might still be alive, and he decides he's going to buy all of the Magiserum off of the black market that he can and make cures and sell it to people.
How much money does he have? Why does money matter?
He has none. So he pre-sells the cure to everyone watching his YouTube channel. He sells 200 vials of serum, gets the money from them, goes on the black market, and buys raw Magiserum from some black market person, and gets it and makes the serum.
That black market got set up really fast.
And was trustworthy. Yeah, and there's internet
you
and
can always
online
trust
stuff.
The black market. There's nothing sketchy about that.
Right. He delivers the vials to random mailboxes and then tells the people he sold it to which mailboxes their stuff is in. Because all of these people are in upstate New York. The 200 people
of the whole 10% of humanity that's left is all
that have enough money, because apparently this is like an extraordinarily huge amount of money. We don't know how much, and he only takes $1 profit so he can buy himself food at the supermarkets that don't exist.
Sure. But where are you buying it? What? What?
Yeah. None of this makes sense or is cohesive. Literally everyone is dead.
Everyone is already dead. There's so much canned food that just exists right now in this moment that would not have gotten eaten. I'm annoyed.
All of this happens, I think, in one awake, maybe. One awake, 2 awakes. And he only accepted orders from people who are near New York who can travel. And he feels like Jesus. He's going to save humanity. He is God. He is super excited and happy.
Why not just email that formula to like everybody if you really want to feel like Jesus?
Right. Because that would take away from his superiority.
Mm-hmm. Even though he's just like, oh, I don't have a profit motive. I only want this $1 out of every sale or whatever. Yeah. No, fuck that guy.
Yeah. So he was able to skip a sleep because his serum worked. And then he takes another dose at his next supposed dream time.
So wait, he has to take a dose at every time he's about to go to sleep?
Yes. But this time it fails and he goes back into the nightmare.
Okay. So it's a serum that works exactly once.
And failed.
Uh-huh.
And so now he sold a cure and delivered a cure that doesn't work.
And profited from a cure that doesn't work.
$200, because if it was 200 vials times $1 profit each time.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, at least it wasn't like something egregious. Like he wasn't like making $1 million off of it or anything like that.
Right. He wakes up in Tenebra in the Emperor's room, and the Emperor is very suspicious because his body was gone for so long. Like, the Emperor was sitting there waiting for Cain's body to come back, and it never did. So the Emperor's like, what were you doing? How did you do that? Cain says that he made a cure, and Luce says there is no cure. And Luce seems to be physically ill in Tenebra. Now, Luce says that Cain must be a spore, because spores can enter and leave Tenebra at will.
What? Why wouldn't the spores just be like the dominant people in the society? They can come in and come out as they please.
That's what I was saying. They would be gods.
Right. What? That's fucking mystifying. What? So this only got established in that moment.
In this moment. Yeah, this is when we find out. And children are the other people who can leave and enter Tenebra at will.
Why weren't we studying that? Why aren't we studying those people and the children and trying to figure out what is happening?
And why wouldn't you ally yourself with spores who are able to return to the human world?
Yeah, you would want to, like, ingratiate yourself to those people and be like, hey, can you make sure my body is getting taken care of? I just had my last awake.
Yes, I will do anything for you in Tenebra if you will go and give my body water.
Yeah, my address is blank, 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 blank.
Uh-huh.
What the fuck?
So instead, the spores and the Emperor are each trying to kill each other, and they're kidnapping all of the little kids they can find because the kids are the ones who can return to the real world, is the current story.
Wait, the Emperor is kidnapping kids?
Yes. He was rescuing them, but he actually takes them home, gives them to their families, and then takes them back, and they're his slaves because they can wake up in the real world.
Okay, I guess that makes it. What are you going to do with an army of kids in the waking world?
Not much. They're pretty useless. And he gets mad about that, too.
Why, then?
And he
just enslave the spores.
But the problem is, if people get too close to the spores, they'll get infected and become a spore.
Why don't you want that?
Because then you'll smell like tar and manure.
Okay. And I don't die. Why wouldn't you want that? That's the cure.
Yes. Yes. So Cain is utterly confused.
And you only smell like shit in the dream.
Yes.
What the fuck are you talking about?
So the Emperor is having to get Cain back on his side because now Cain is like, wait, the spores have a cure. Why aren't we talking to them? And Luce is like, no, they're evil murderers. They killed your brother. And he's like, what? How do you know? And Luce pulls out a book out of a wall, looks up Noel Cross, and look, killed by spore. And Cain accepts it and believes it.
Oh my God.
I have to kill these spores because they killed my brother.
Oh, I'm just so vastly annoyed.
Yeah, because up to this point, I hadn't been like, oh, this is a bad book. I was still giving it
The benefit
of the doubt. But now I'm like, what the fuck?
Why would you just believe? Like, you can just write shit down. Even
Yes.
in this dream world, I assume.
Also, Luce is the one who can create anything he wants.
Yeah.
But that doesn't occur to Cain until the end of the book. It doesn't occur to him that Luce was lying about this until the literal end of the book.
I mean, you don't have to be good at writing and setting things up as long as your main character is an idiot and doesn't notice things.
So Cain is full of rage, and he creates a dual blade out of thin air that can kill humans and mess beasts, because he can do it whenever he wants. And Luce finally tells him what he wants. Luce says that his father's body is in a lifesapod in the old world, and the spores cut power to the high rise it's in. And Luce's father's mind is still in a tunnel. So he needs Cain to go to the building in the real world and move the pod to a new location with electricity, and then he'll give Cain his own lifesapod. So now that is the stakes, because we made a cure. That was the stakes. The cure failed, so we lost those stakes. Now, since we know the cure won't work, we have to get a pod for Cain, and in order to do that, he has to ally with Luce. And we have to make the spores the ones who killed the electricity to a high-rise in a world where no one else lives. To make the spores be another reason that Cain hates them.
Why would they do that in the real world?
Right, because that's stupid. If you had electricity and a body was in it, you would just go in and unhook the body and use the house with electricity.
Right. So is the deal going to be that Cain is going to get captured by the spores, and then we're going to see their perspective of it, and then we're going to see why Luce is the bad guy?
Of course.
Okay.
Because our character really is stupid.
Yeah.
He's mad at the people in the stands for cheering about people fighting. The man who created the system is right in front of him, and he agrees to be friends and allies.
Yeah.
He literally thinks he is so angry about these people in the stands the whole time. They're faceless. It's just blobs in a crowd. And then Luce is in front of him, and he's like, oh, he can give me what I want. He's fine.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of, God, is it almost like kind of fascist adjacent? Like the only people you respect are the ones that have power?
That's how he responds to people through the book generally, yeah. Basically.
Like, not saying this book is fascist or the author is fascist, but that's how the main character acts. Is the only people he's respecting are the ones with power over him.
And Cain is even thinking, like, through this, like, how can I make this work, like, in my head? And then we get a new wrench. Luce tells us that his father, whose name is Hex Galilei,
Oh my God.
is the draftsman of Tenebra.
God damn it. Of course.
Luce's father is the one who designed the Nightmare virus, and is the biggest mass murderer in human history.
Yeah.
And he wants Cain to save his life. And Cain agrees because he will get his own lifesapod.
I mean, it does make sense, because you would want that guy to not die, I guess. Like, and still have some kind of leverage over him in his real life, but that's not what the Emperor wants.
And the
That should
Emperor,
be what Cain wants.
the Emperor says that Hex Galilei has the cure to the virus.
Why is that name? God damn it, why is that name?
I wish I knew. It's stupid. Cain Cross, Luce, who knows?
Hex Galilei is like another league of stupid.
Yeah. So now Cain is like, oh, I have to save this murderer, but he has the cure. But Luce won't want to have a cure because he's a god in this world. So everyone has conflicting motives, and none of it's whatever. Cain says he'll decide after his next awake whether or not he wants to help with the stuff. He's waffling. And Luce sends him back to the arena to go back to the fights because he's not a citizen. And Cain is shocked that he's the only one in Tenebra who still wakes up and is friends with the Emperor, and the Emperor would risk him dying. Luce is like, it's just the rules. Bye-bye.
It's just the rules that I made up.
And therefore you must obey them. Cain trains with Helene, but almost kills her because he's already so good. He doesn't need training. He's really judgy of her for still being willing to fight in the stuff.
What?
Because she says she is willing to kill someone to get citizenship. And he's like, God, she's evil. And then she says, I have to find my 4-year-old daughter. She's in here somewhere. And he's like, oh, I can understand and forgive her now. Because he's the arbiter of what is morally good and just. We're in his head, so we're literally, everything is just being judged by his vibes. He goes into a fight, and in the fight, one of the Noxiers is a 12-year-old girl. She's Olivia. She runs and grabs a real sword, and it's really funny because big action scene, blah, 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 I don't care. But in part of it, she has this little sword, and she runs over and just tries to stab him. And he's like, quit, little girl, and like smacks at her. And she like falls over and comes back, and she just keeps stabbing at him because she knows the only way to get out is to kill somebody, and she wants out.
Right.
And he's like, why are you trying to hurt me? I was defending you from that beast. And
Brother,
she's...
you know the rules. You know why she's doing it. You have her motivation.
And it was just really funny to imagine, like, someone Amy's size with a sword just, like, trying to swing it around and being like, pure of motive. I just need to stab somebody. And she's, like, stabbing at his feet. And he's like, these stupid Roman sandals, they don't protect my feet. Stupid girl trying to stab me. I was trying to help you. And it's like, dude, we know the rules of this world. What are you doing?
That's so weird. And, like, also not an interesting option, having it be a 12-year-old girl, because that's way too obvious that you're not supposed to kill that.
So he's, like, waving his knife at her, stop stabbing me. Then a phoenix flies into the arena, and it has a woman on it. He can smell that she's a spore, and the smell of spores makes the citizens go insane, apparently, sometimes. She sees him waving his knife at the little girl, so she comes and fights Cain, because she's the one who yelled Olivia. Olivia is her little sister.
Gotcha.
I'm just going to surprise the big reveal that comes way, way later, way longer than it should have taken. And in his mind, he immediately calls her Spore Girl, even though she is his age and he is an adult. She is a 19-year-old woman who is therefore a girl. The entire book. I call her a woman because she's an adult, and if he's a man, she's a woman.
Right.
Dramatic fight. He stabs her in the heart with his sword because his anger is just too much. The anger takes over, stabs her, and she dies. So her body disappears. And the phoenix screams and flies away, grabbing the 12-year-old girl. And then the Tyrones shoot at it, and it drops her. And so they keep the girl. But the phoenix gets away. And the Tyrones are apparently the soldiers.
Oh, okay.
I guess.
Never set those up before.
Nope. And that's when we find out what they're called.
Okay. Well, yeah, super convenient way for your character to still get to do a murder.
Yes. Be forced to do a murder, essentially. And then later on, we find out she didn't actually die in the real world. I'm just going to spoil that right now.
Yeah,
she didn't actually
figured.
die. But
So
he gets
our main character isn't morally reprehensible.
Right, because he gets to hate himself for being a murderer, and then we find out he wasn't really a murderer.
I mean, in my mind, he's still a murderer.
Right.
But
And he wakes up, and he's in the university lab because his cure failed, and he feels really bad for killing that woman, because if you die in the nightmare, you die in real life. And his cure is failed, and then he checks his email, and the cure failed for everyone else except one person who it delayed the nightmare for 1 hour. So that was just a whole little random side plot that didn't seem to matter.
Glad we wasted our time to show our main character as kind of a fuck up.
So, like, the first time I went through it, I was like, oh, then I can just, like, skip the cure stuff, right? No, it comes back later and matters once. Stupid. He decides to finish his last couple of orders, though, and deliver them.
What? You think it's useless at this point. Why would you do that?
He knows it's useless.
Refund their shit if you think it's useless.
Well, he can't because the money's gone because all of it went to buying the stuff for the Imagiserum. So it was just a huge waste of everyone's money and time. It was just a huge waste of hope.
Yeah.
He parks near the final delivery and he starts cooking potatoes on the gas burner, but the nightmare time is running out. So, like, he did all this stuff. He has 15 minutes to do what he needs to do before the nightmare. He's cooking potatoes. He loses track of the time. He turns and realizes, oh my God, my gas burner is going in my trailer. I'm about to pass out. My house is going to burn down. Mm-hmm. He runs over to try to grab it and falls asleep on the floor.
That was kind of funny. Now he's going to die inside his burning trailer.
Yep.
Or he's just going to run out of gas.
He wakes up in the stadium in Tenebra, and Crixus tells him that he's a citizen because he killed that spore. And she counts as a human that got killed.
Yeah.
So, but now, Cain in Tenebra is coughing and sweating.
Because his trailer's burning.
Yes, because he's on fire in his...
Things that are physically happening in the real world affect you in the dream world?
This is when that's established.
God damn it. So why don't the people outside the dream that die in the dream?
I guess they disappear.
What?
And imagine...
He can feel heat. Mm-hmm. He can be breathing and coughing from the smoke. Mm-hmm. But your body dies on the outside and you're just still alive in this dream?
He's not currently dead. His
Right.
body is currently in a burning trailer.
But why? What?
No one else, almost only one other only a couple of other people show physical manifestations of their real human body being impacted in Tenebra. Mm-hmm. Because it only happens when it's plot relevant. But if everyone was dying in a coma of starvation, malnutrition, dehydration...
Yeah. You'd be feeling that.
Everyone in Tenebra would be like crawling across the floor.
Yeah.
So we have superhuman abilities to do huge somersaults and grow wings and have giant feats of strength when we want to.
Yeah.
And then when we want to, the real world is impacting our mental bodies in Tenebra.
Okay.
This is when that matters.
Yeah. It's just annoying.
It is extraordinarily annoying.
You can do it that way. It's just lame and it's stupid. Mm-hmm. No one's going to stop you.
He rushes to the Emperor, and the Emperor says, and Cain says, if you can help me and send me back to the real world, I will save your father. Because now he's physically dying in his house, and he has to wake up to save himself. He can't be asleep for 14 hours in a fire and survive that. And Luce sends Crixus to get something for him, and Cain collapses and his vision goes black. I don't know why. He wakes up in the real world in the same position he fell asleep in the kitchen, reaching for the stove, but the fire is out. There's a young woman who's unconscious on the couch, and she has a fire extinguisher in one hand and a wet cloth in the other.
Just imagining. To the outside observer in the real world, it's just a world of narcoleptics now.
Yes. Yep. So this woman has a note next to her saying she had to restart his heart. And I guess that's why he returned.
When did you have time to do that? The trailer is actively on fire.
She runs in.
You stopped and restarted his heart?
Uh-huh.
And then wrote this note out before dealing with the fire. Grabbed the fire extinguisher to deal with the fire. You said the fire is out.
Yes, I
thought you meant it is out of the stove and is now okay.
I think
understand now.
Basically all of the trailer caught on fire.
Yeah.
She runs in, finds the fire extinguisher, puts out the fire.
Okay. That
goes over to him, restarts his heart magically, I don't know. Mm-hmm. Gets wet cloths to try to deal with his burnt flesh. She's also covered in burns on her hands and her face because she has a big hoodie on. Yeah. So she was protected except for blisters on her hands and face. Mm-hmm. He has blisters on his skin.
Right.
But we don't establish how much of that or where. Mm. And it never hurts again.
Right.
And we don't even need medical treatment because we found an ointment maybe and skip all of that. Forget it. It doesn't matter.
So we find out now that this is, what were they called? Spore? This is where we find out this is Spore Girl?
We find that out later because the note says her name is Strana. Mm. But later
and not
on,
Spore Girl.
And not Spore Girl, because why would she call herself that? But she saw the place on fire, rushed in and saved him, and now she passed out because that was her last awake. Later on, we find out that she's Spore Girl. It takes frickin' forever. It takes chapters. It's way later than this. He finally sees the girl's face in the
Wait a minute.
trailer. He never looks at her face.
This is Spore Girl, but that was her last awake. Was she just lying about that?
No.
Wait. So the spores can't just come in and out when they please?
True. You're correct.
What? What the fuck?
I hate this author. I hate her so much.
So, she's a spore.
Yes.
There's no question as to whether she's a spore.
No question.
She wasn't just lying about being a spore.
Correct. She is a spore.
Okay. So spores don't actually have the ability to come in and out as they please.
Correct.
Is that something established in the story?
Yes. At the end of the book.
Okay, so that was a lie.
No.
What do you mean?
I mean that literally the rules change again at the end of the book.
Okay.
I'm telling you the rules as they happen.
The author changed their
and
mind.
And then the
at
author
end
changes
of the book.
her mind again.
Okay.
So he is currently believing.
We changed the rules so that it makes sense why this is her last sleep, so he can
Yes.
give her the pod.
No.
No? Okay.
No, 'cause he doesn't.
That's where I expected to go.
He doesn't actually care. He cares about her when she's nice to him, and he hates her the rest of the time.
Okay.
It's really it's stupid.
Yeah, I'm confused.
But at this moment, he doesn't know she's Spore Girl.
Right.
He knows she's the girl who rescued him, and he never sees her face because he doesn't bother looking.
Does he just leave her there?
He props her up in a corner and like pours water into her mouth and ignores her. Because she's physically there. He digs through her backpack and sees one of his cure vials, and that's why she was in the area. She was picking up the last delivery.
Gotcha.
So now he's like, I guess I'm stuck with this person, but she saved me, so I should keep her alive while I can. But he has a couple sleeps left. He has very little time left. He makes another live video on YouTube apologizing for the failed cure. Everyone's pissed at him. He feels guilty.
Pulls out his ukulele.
Yep. It rhymes.
a YouTube apology video.
Yep. He drives the RV to his storage unit to collect the last of his gas and food.
Why is it in a storage unit? Who the fuck is going to steal your stuff?
Yeah.
There's nobody left.
No, there's literally.
I mean, there's
spaghetti.
everyone left in New York, apparently.
Apparently, that's where the 10% stayed. Yeah, so we this book is so long. So much of this should have been cut. And this was like, why on earth wouldn't you be eating all of your food now?
Yeah.
You're obviously going to die when you're in a coma and no one can care for you. But you could delay that if you kept your body fed now.
Yeah.
But he's been starving himself every day and severely rationing. He has spaghetti and beans and peanut butter and cases of oil and gas for his truck.
Yeah, that's so dumb. You
At
would
a
want to
place.
yeah, you would be like trying to overfeed and like make yourself obese, or
You'd be trying to consume as many calories as possible while you can right now, instead of starving yourself.
right.
He does this thing throughout the whole book where he rations his last pack of gum, and we have to go over the sensation of eating gum each time.
Because we can't have cigarettes.
God, I'd be smoking every cigarette if this was my last week of that. Jeez. And it would be, there would be so much stuff and no people. I think the point of that was somebody tries to steal his shit and shoots at him and he drives away. We wanted a little action scene there.
Why are we
I'm
stealing
skipping it.
There's so much stuff.
We're skipping it because there's no food because we're in a zombie apocalypse.
Right, for no reason. See, that would be more interesting, actually. If instead of when you went to sleep, you just died. Instead of that, you come back as a zombie. And your brain is in the game.
Oh, yeah.
But in the real world, that would make the stakes make so much more sense.
Mm-hmm. He knows that Luce's dad is like in some part of the city. So he starts driving that direction in general. He doesn't know the address yet because he didn't have time to like find out specifically, but he knows where he's supposed to be heading. And he can
We didn't get an address.
drive down the end. He can drive down highways apparently because those are not all clogged with bodies and cars.
Yeah, bodies of people that fell asleep in the middle of driving and wrecked, and there wasn't any infrastructure left, so...
Right. That's not a problem because we don't want that to be the plot problem right now. In Tenebra, Cain wakes up in Tenebra. Luce says that Cain survived because he used a device to stop Cain's heart. So I guess the idea is that Luce had a heart-stopping device in Tenebra, and Strana had a heart-starting device in the real world, and that's how they mutually
Wait, why
saved
would the
him.
heart-stopping device wake you up?
Because that is actually...
That would just be killing you!
That is actually, if you want the spoiler now, that is actually how it works. If a spore gets killed in Tenebra, sometimes they wake up in real life.
Okay.
But not always.
Okay.
They don't know.
Okay.
That in the end, that is what's actually revealed, and it's used as this matter of faith
Oh.
thing. Because we're in a Christian
God damn
book,
it.
and it becomes a faith thing.
God damn it.
Because guess
Okay.
what? The spores are Christians.
Oh my god. Oh god. You get to come back. You're getting resurrected with the power of Jesus.
Yeah, baby.
Ah! That's so dumb.
Yeah.
That it almost circles right back around and becomes smart again.
Yeah.
That's really funny. What if that was the prophecy that was in the Bible? You get everlasting life, but it's in this stupid video game thing. Why would the video game virus work like that? Why is it biased towards Christians? That's so stupid.
Why is anything in this story? Why? So this is the point where the author decides to introduce a new concept.
Oh, it's too late in the book.
Roots.
No.
Cain starts growing roots from his feet into the dirt
Why?
because he is making Tenebra his home. And if you think of Tenebra as your home, it ties you tighter to the dark, evil world of Tenebra.
It's literally you're literally putting down roots.
Yes. But this only matters 2 or 3 times in the entire rest of the story.
Yeah. It's just there to be a lame metaphor.
It's there to create like this more, an allegory thing. Luce trains Cain. And so Luce creates a tiger, and he wants Cain to defend himself from the tiger. So Cain creates a bigger tiger, and they fight. Not really. Luce just kills both of them. And then he's like, I thought you'd make a cage or a sword. I didn't expect you to overpower my puny little tiger with your bigger tiger. Because we have to have a dick measuring contest. Because we didn't know Cain was amazing already.
Yeah.
So Cain becomes a citizen. He goes and gets food and clothes. And he decides to make this a real place, a real home.
The cage would have been a smarter. So this story thinks that when you summon a tiger and your reply to that is a bigger tiger, that's the clever thing? No, that's stupid. That's just brute forcing. That's like literally the dumber thing.
Yeah.
Fine. Sorry, I didn't
He's
mean to
clever.
interrupt you moving on from that, but
I'm trying to move on. I'm trying.
know, I
you
can't- I
keep
do.
saying these are too long. I am trying to go fast. I'm trying for you.
it's a shared problem.
Yes. So he's out in the market and wherever. The little girl is there. Spore Girl is there. Spore Girl tries to rescue Olivia. And the whole crowd turns and decides to rip Strana into pieces. Because the reaction of citizens to a spore is immediate claws and death and ripping like they're zombies.
their sin.
Their sin
coerces them,
nature
yeah.
is abhorrent to the light and to the smell of Jesus'
That is
power.
annoying. Oh my God, is that why they smell?
Yes.
Everyone thinks the Christians stink.
Yep.
That is kind of funny.
And he decides to rescue Strana because he wants to know how they have a cure. And even though he's a citizen, he doesn't get the abhorrent reaction to their stink because his brother and mom were Christians. Because he's not a Christian right now. He doesn't have faith, but he's able to talk to her and be reasonable because he's special.
Sure.
Sure. All of the other people are mindless murderers. He creates a new tiger and he uses it and he grabs her up and rescues her and takes her out of the place so that they can have a talk.
Yeah, I mean, when we're in like a fantasy fighting situation and your main character has creative mode, I stop caring because that's not interesting anymore.
It gets really boring. Like one time, one of my siblings was playing some online game, and they knew a code to turn on God mode, where they could fly into the sky, they could get unlimited ammo, they could do all of these crazy things.
Yeah, it's fun for a little while, but
yeah,
it
and
ruins
then everyone
the game.
stopped playing with him.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, this isn't fun anymore. And he ended up having to play alone in God mode, and nobody was his friend anymore. And it's like, yeah, because then it's not fun.
Yeah, there is something poignant about that.
So he's like, who are you? What's going on? And then he sees her face and realizes that it's Strana. It's Spore Girl that he murdered, but she's alive. So he wasn't a murderer. This is the big reveal. She's like, we're the good guys. And he says, no, you're the bad guys. And she's like, Luce is lying. And he's like, what? No.
Lucifer is the bad guy?
And so she walks away because she's like, I want nothing to do with you. You murdered me. We're enemies. You're friends with the Emperor. We're enemies. Thanks for saving me, but fuck off. So she walks off. He tries to follow, and his roots hold him still. And she says that he's at a crossroads. Cane crossroads. And her and she's going to this is going to feel really good, and it shouldn't. And she comes back and she stabs him in the skull with her magic sword.
Okay.
He doesn't die. Instead, his memories of the real world and Tenebra integrate, so he feels like he can understand and remember both at the same time.
Wait, has he not been doing that this whole time?
The entire time when you're in Tenebra, you cannot really remember the real world.
When was that established? Was that established just now, or was that...
No, it was all along the way, but it
Okay.
never actually mattered.
Okay. Yeah,
It literally had no effect
Yeah.
on anything.
Yeah.
It was just to make him more foggy and stupid.
Yeah.
And make it more difficult for me to understand what's going on in this
Right.
fucking story. So I skipped that so that you can actually follow along with the
Right,
narrative. He wakes up in Tenebra and realizes he's been spored. He's infected. And he still thinks she's an enemy, but now he's worried because now he'll become one of them. Now he wakes up in the real world.
Why did he wake up twice?
Well, because when he got stabbed with the sword,
Yeah.
it rebooted him. He became Neo, I think. And now he is mentally more powerful. And then we're waking up in the real world because stuff there needs to happen.
Yeah, okay.
His fuel got stolen and his tank siphoned, so he only has a little bit of fuel now.
Who stole it?
Who knows?
That's fine.
It's because we need to create a plot point. Because he had fuel and now he doesn't. He has this awake currently and one more awake left. So this awake is 3 hours. Next awake is 2 hours. He'll have to stop at Luce's fuel stop in order to make it to the high rise and then get to the other location. So he didn't want to stop. Luce said, go to X address. I have children there. They will give you fuel and food, or fuel to get to the high rise where you can get the dad and then move him to this other location. Because we're still doing that in 5 hours total. So we're forcing that by siphoning the fuel. He goes to the spot with the gas and the kids, but it ends up being a setup. There's other people there who are watching the kids, who are watching the fuel. So when Cain gets there, they basically take Cain's stuff and shoot at him, and they shoot Strana, and it's a big, big thing.
I'm perplexed.
They are mad at him because he sold a fake cure, and they were one of the people who got the fake cure.
Okay.
But they're also just greedy, and they see his house that was half melted.
And they knew he was going to Luce's dad's high-rise?
No, they just knew that somebody was coming for the fuel. So they wanted to get whoever was coming for the fuel and steal their food.
And they just happened to be
Cain.
people that bought off of Cain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Because that has to come back and haunt him a bunch of times for no reason.
Gotcha.
Fight. Somebody makes a crude remark about Strana and how she's pretty. And then fight. He ends up getting shot, like grazed on the cheek and shot in the shoulder. And then she gets shot in the back and in the calf. And she's still unconscious. She's been unconscious this whole time.
I don't know why that's funny. Just shooting someone that's asleep that can't wake up.
And that's part of the problem with the first person present tense. He has to wake up, see himself shot, see her shot, and put together, oh, that guy must have been carrying her to do this thing. Oh, that other guy must have shot at him and accidentally hit her. And it's just to wound her to make us have stakes.
Right.
Again. Because he manages to pick her up and carry her in the real world to a Jeep in a landfill. That's where they end up, is in a car in a landfill next to an interstate. Mm-hmm. So he doesn't have the fire swamp anymore. He doesn't have the truck. He doesn't have food. He doesn't have anything more than like a bottle of water, himself and Strana. And they're bleeding and dying. He's thinking, all of this happened because I sold that stupid cure. And I'm trying to go and get a life support. So he's like mentally dealing with loss of hope. Okay? This is a very hopeless situation.
Okay.
He has one more awake, and that awake is only 2 hours. There's no way to get to the high rise. No way to save Luce's dad. No way to get to a life support. And if he's in a Jeep with a girl who's unconscious, this is the end. This is death.
Yeah.
This is an inescapable situation.
Sure.
Quote, so many regrets. When will my life turn itself around and start making good for a change? Have I lost sight of that? I'm spending all my time in Tenebra training and surviving and helping Luce so I can get a life support in order to keep living and training and surviving. I'm living so much of my life trying to keep myself alive in order to live life. An endless cycle. There must be more.
Okay. I mean, it sounds like, that sounds like a very 30-year-old... I'm working a job that I hate so that I can keep living life that I hate kind of thought.
But this is literally you just are trying to get food and water and shelter literally to survive.
Right.
Huh? Like,
and he's just like, what's the point?
Yeah, like, and this is the part where I understand feeling hopeless, and I understand giving up. I don't understand moaning about trying to survive another day.
Yeah.
I
Only
don't
now.
Yeah.
Just gotta do the most dramatic thing at the most dramatic
Yeah,
moment.
like we have to have a big feels about it, but in the weirdest way, instead of just wailing about, there's no hope, it's over, I'm going to die. I would understand that.
Yeah.
So he decides that what he can do is, he knows Strana is a spore. She's Spore Girl. He has one more awake. He can fall asleep, go to Tenebra, find her in Tenebra, get her to go talk to the spores who are able to wake up in real life, make them come and find their bodies, and rescue them. And it works.
Oh, well, that's good.
So let's see if anything important happens along the way. Oh, she kind of argues with him and is like, I don't care, I have faith. And he has to say, oh, and she has to be physically weak in Tenebra and fall over dramatically because she's been shot in the back. And that's the only way he's able to convince her body's in danger and going to die.
I see.
And that's how, like, he can convince her, this is important, this matters. You have to listen to me, you have to save our bodies. Here's the address. And he tries to, like, haggle with her over stuff, and it's really stupid. It's like, just move on. Can we please move on through the story? Why are we creating more problems? This entire book is pointless problems. But before he gets to Strana, Crixus comes and talks to him and argues with him. Crixus wants Cain to go to the high-rise and fix the power, because there's other people in the tower.
Why does Crixus give a shit all of a sudden?
Cain thinks it's because Crixus must have a sweetheart or something in there.
Or he lives there.
That does not occur to him until way later. And Crixus is trying to say, I'm on the side of life. That's why I care. And Cain is like, I don't know electricity. And also I'm thinking, you have a grid? What?
Yeah. Where the fuck is the power coming from?
Yeah. Months after 90% of the population is gone? Okay.
Who is operating the fucking generator plant or whatever to keep the electricity going?
Right. Oh, tiny bit of important thing that happens here. In order to find Strana, Cain creates a little dog out of night mist and says, find Strana. Here's her blood on my blade. And it takes him along the way. He gets attacked by snakes. Strana swoops in and rescues him on her phoenix. And she throws something that looks like a match in among the snakes, and it burns them all up. And he's like, whoa, she has magic. Where did that come from? She doesn't want to tell him because she's smart and he's an idiot. Later on, we find out that there's another source of building material in this world that has light in it. And it is the whole point of the plot later on. But right now, this is when we're first actually establishing that there's this other thing that can fight the night beasts, the mist beasts.
At what point in the book are we when that gets established?
60%. 50%? We're halfway through the book.
You realize we've been recording for 2.5 hours.
I'm trying to hurry. I keep trying, like, literally. I keep trying. I'm skipping, like, all of this, okay? Anyway.
I think we need a break. It is getting
I
hot.
do think we need a break. You know who else creates nonsensical narratives and gives us pointless plot points and then takes us back and none of it actually mattered?
BetterHelp?
Therapy, yeah.
Yeah.
Those therapists with their mind games, I tell
Therapists
ya.
that don't help.
And we're back from crying about all of our life choices. We were having the conversation between Cain and Strana about she's dying, he's dying, they need help, send spores to come rescue us. And then he keeps trying to make random small talk.
Yeah.
And he wants to know what the thing was she threw that was light, that killed the night mist snake thingies. She doesn't tell him. He keeps trying to say, you're gonna die. Like, you need to care about this. And she tells him Tenebra isn't her home, but the real world isn't her home either. Because her real home is heaven. Yeah, so she's not too pressed about whether she lives or dies.
She's in a totally different third dimension.
Yep.
That no one else knows about.
And he keeps saying that the spores must be in charge since Strana was able to resurrect. And she points out that they're being hunted by the Emperor, who's in charge of everything. And he's kind of coming over to her point of view. Oh, maybe Luce is the bad guy. Oh no, but I got spored. That's why I agree with her. Not because everything she says actually makes sense. Because we needed the dumb character to not understand all the machinations and political intrigue until now. She just keeps trying to leave the situation. He keeps talking. She'll stop. And then she says, I'll see what I can do. Fine. I'll see what I can do. And he says, wait, take me with you to your base. And she agrees. He was able to see the spark when people touch each other. And he thinks that that has something to do with the light she threw. And she's like, what? You can see the spark? And obviously he didn't die when she stabbed him with the sword. So we know from the reader's perspective, oh, he's becoming a spore, he's becoming a Christian again, or something. And so she's like, since he can see the light, maybe he could be one of us, I guess. She blindfolds him, and he rides on the Phoenix with her back to their base, and it's these catacombs that are way outside of the city, and it was apparently part of the original landscape. Everyone is mad at her for bringing a citizen in, and they don't want him to be there, but he creates a basketball, and it makes the little kids happy. And that's when we find out from Strana that it's bad to create from the night mist, because that's bad stuff and has to do with not being a Christian.
Why?
Is when we start to pick up those messages. Now we're getting messages around...
But why isn't it Christian? Why is it bad?
It just is. It gets a moral judgment, and it just is.
Unsatisfying.
It is unsatisfying, and there's no real reason for it.
Mm-hmm.
She keeps trying to do allegory, and it keeps not working because it wasn't established at the beginning that this is an allegory. Mm-hmm. We're not doing Narnia because the rules, Tenebra is not actually a reflection of the spiritual world. Mm-hmm. If it was, we would have pure allegory, where people with spiritual faith had certain powers in this world that other people didn't, and those might have special evil powers. Mm-hmm. And then we could have a war between light and dark.
Yeah.
Instead, we're just picking pieces of it and using it when we want to.
Yeah. Just cherry picking the pieces that we want to do and then just not adhering to it enough.
Right. The little kids there are scared of Cain because they know he's a citizen, and the citizens steal the children. And Cain is like, no, we rescue you. And is still kind of like mentally waffling on whose side he's on and actively thinks through, I don't know whether to believe them. I don't know whether to believe Luce. Because he's still doing this spiritual waffle back and forth thing. Mm-hmm. And these people are called Adelphoi. They don't call themselves spores. They call themselves Adelphoi, which means brothers in Greek.
Okay.
Cain realizes finally that he's not welcome, so he leaves.
Why Greek? Sorry.
Jesus-y language.
No.
Who knows?
It's not.
A kid named Everett walks him out of the tunnels, and this is when we find out that the children don't show up in Tenebra in a tunnel. The children show up in a wheat field. So when they poof into existence in Tenebra, it's in a wheat field. And when adults wake up in Tenebra, it's in a tunnel. We're kind of doing the, innocence thing. Mm-hmm. We're doing the age of accountability.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking when the kids didn't have to, adhere to the rules because they could just wake up whenever they wanted.
We're kind of doing Left Behind resurrection or end times rules of children are pure up to a certain age.
Yeah. And
then they become tainted. And Adelphoi are Christians, and if they're Christian enough, they can also do this thing of leaving Tenebra.
Yeah, well, with the what is it, the childlike...
faith or innocence or whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cain goes to ride the Phoenix back toward the Colosseum to return to the city. And instead, off in the distance, he sees light. And he flies the Phoenix to the light, and it's the wheat field. So the wheat field has an inner glow of real light because now we're doing stronger allegory. Because you know how Jesus is the bread of life and the yeast of faith and blah, blah, blah.
The yeast of faith. Is that an actual line out of the Bible?
Pretty sure.
Why
That's
does
at least
that sound so silly?
Well, because when some yeast touches a loaf, it rises and stuff, and yeah, it spreads, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to go ahead. I'll just spoil all of it. You're going to love this, by which I mean hate this. The wheat field has stuff in it that has light in it, which creates stuff. This light stuff was not put there by the draftsman. It was literally put there by Christian God. Christian God intervened in the human creation video game to create a wheat field. And when you have a seed, a wheat seed, and you throw it into the night mist, it destroys the night mist. So at the wheat field, the children poof and wake up, and all around the field are night beasts wanting to get in to eat the little child, but they can't because they cannot enter the field. The field is like base. You're in the field, you're on base. On one side of the field is a solid barrier like
it's
plexiglass.
It's so weird when God decides to intervene. Why intervene at that point?
In such a weak, pathetic way,
right.
too.
With wheat?
With wheat.
you're not going to intervene, when
Children are being
literally
murdered.
everyone. Why are we deciding that the sinful matter at this point? Why wasn't that delineation made when everybody got infected with this virus? Why wasn't this just something that the sinful would want to do? Because, they want another life, but it's not a life with God. Why not that? They're sinful, so they're going to go for this VR thing, and that's a rejection of God, so they're going to get punished and have to go to this weird hell dimension. Why not intervene then? Why intervene at this point in this goddamn wheat field?
Which means this isn't an allegory, because this is a real God intervening in a real way in a game.
In a video game.
If it was an allegory,
not any of the people that are actually starving in the real world that he made. Mm-hmm. No, we gotta waste our time and make a wheat field in a video game that everyone didn't have to be trapped in. That maybe if there was a God that cared about people and wanted to intervene at some point, maybe prior to them all getting trapped in a video game, maybe.
So on one side of the wheat field is a solid clear barrier like plexiglass. Mm-hmm. And he tries to walk into it and bumps his nose, right? Classic. He can't get through it, and he realizes that this is the edge of the game. All Imagiserum dream worlds have a end, but it looks continuous to give you the idea of
it's
larger
standard
world.
in video games.
But you always hit the edge of the map, and you have to explore the edge.
Limit.
Yeah. So he's like, oh, if we can get past the edge of the map, maybe we'll wake up. But I can't get through. Well, I found the suite. This is cool. Oh, wait, poof, a little girl wakes up in the field. She's 4. Her name's Heidi. She's cute. And he has to decide, do I want to take her with me to the Colosseum, or do I take her back to the spores? And he decides he trusts her with Strana better than with Luce. So he picks her up, promises she'll be safe and happy. They'll find her mom, blah, blah, blah. Puts her on the Phoenix, flies back to the Adelphoi. He gets there, and he brings a little girl in, and Strana's like, what are you doing here? Oh, a little girl. Yay, cute little girl. And then soldiers come marching in, because they had followed him earlier, and oops, he betrayed them. The bad guys are invading and capturing everybody. And they see him, and they yell, Icarus, and they just grab him and haul him away. Because we need him to get captured, and we need everyone to get captured. They don't trust him, but they're not going to kill him. They currently want him. Oh, and you can get knocked out in Tenebra. That's when we find out that. So he gets hit in the head with a sword, passes out in Tenebra, and then wakes up again in Tenebra in a prison cell in the Colosseum. Because we couldn't bother with all that awake time in between, I guess. Luce is talking to him, and he is really weak and in a wheelchair. So he looks like he's sick and dying. And Cain is kind of like, I wonder why Luce is sick and dying. Oh, there must be something wrong with his body. Luce is saying, oh, we rescued you from the spores. And Cain is shouting, you betrayed me. Why did you have to go invade them? Yes, I was going to give you their location, but you didn't need to do it that way. Fight, argument, blah, blah, blah. Luce is very obviously the bad guy. But Cain is still like wishy-washy in his head, trying to decide who he cares about. And then Luce finally says that they found his father, Hex Galilei. He came out of one of the tunnels, and he's in a room, but he's unconscious. Because now the unconsciousness matters in Tenebra, so that they can see your body, but you're not awake. Crixus takes Cain to go see the body, and it's this really old man. But he needs to know what Hex Galilei looks like, because otherwise how is he going to know which lifesapod in the high-rise belongs to this guy?
Right.
He has to be able to visually look at him and say, oh, this is the one I'm supposed to rescue, unlike all the other people who are in lifesapods. This is when we find out that Luce is using children as servants and slaves, and that bothers Cain. And then we find out that Luce will rescue these little kids, use them until they turn 12, and then shove them into the games to fight for their citizenship. And you age out of the ability to wake up at will. This has been going on for months.
Yeah.
This would apply to very, 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 very few people.
Right.
But they're acting like this is happening to hundreds of children all the time.
Well, I mean, if the whole world, if 90% of the population, how many of those kids, how many of that 90% were kids?
Oh, I don't know.
So I'm confused now.
I know, because I'm like,
they can wake up at will, but surely the last 10% isn't just children and like 11 other people, right?
Right. Like, I don't know.
This raises so many... Just that premise just raises too many questions.
It creates more problems.
Right.
And my thing is, with this new technology of dreamscapes, why would you be putting children in that at all?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be an 18 and up entertainment experience?
One would think.
Or 16 and up?
Yeah, I don't know.
So we're infecting small children who realistically probably never had this actually happen.
Yeah.
None of it's consistent. But yeah, that just, and it does matter later, because at some point children are being attacked and they squint their eyes and squish their faces really hard and they pop out of existence. Yes, because they woke up. Mm-hmm. They were able to force themselves awake. And at one point a kid is like trying really hard and he's like, oh no, I can't anymore. And so he has to fight because at that minute in time he turned 12.
Ah.
It's just arbitrary. We change the rules to make this moment stressful. Mm-hmm. Cain is still on task to save Hex Galilee. He is still agreeing to go to the high rise with his last awake and save the guy in that life pod. So he wakes up in the real world. This is his last awake. He has 2 hours, 120 minutes. He's been bandaged. He wakes up in a house. It's the house of the Adelphoi. Stranna's there, she's rescued, she's been bandaged. In the house are random amounts of people who are awake and asleep. There are adults who are awake, and those are Adelphoi. Stranna wakes up because they all got captured and they all got taken to the Colosseum, and they're all being put in the games and just murdered in front of everybody. Even the children. Just everybody is just being murdered. So her throat got cut, and she wakes up in the real world because she's a spore, and she tells them that everyone is getting slaughtered. But I guess that means people are getting woken up at the house. They're all really worried about Cain because he knows their location in the real world, and they're worried about him causing them problems in the real world. And he already caused them problems in Tenebra. This property was people who were preppers or homesteaders or something. They have a cow, they have chickens, they have a big garden. So that's how they have food. They're this little tiny commune. And they get by feeding the bodies of people who never wake up and giving them water somehow.
Oh, for a second I thought you meant they were feeding people's bodies to the chickens and pigs and stuff.
No, they pour milk into like the sleeping people's mouths to keep them alive.
Boring. I
No.
That would have been an interesting to mention if people are just getting like cannibalized.
No. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. And Stranna had been buying the cure for Olivia, and that's how she knew, or that's why she was nearby Cain's location. And she's mad at herself for wasting the last of their money on the cure and doing something to try to fight it and not just trusting God. She should have just trusted God for a cure instead of trying to get a man-made cure. So we're having a faith lecture from Stranna.
That's stupid. Because then that just leaves... What are you supposed to do then? You're not supposed to enact your own free will on the world then?
Correct, because that is not having faith.
What the fuck is the point then? Why are you doing anything then?
Why
are you trying to save your sister? You should be just letting God fucking fix that.
Well, that was what she was saying, is I shouldn't have tried to save my sister. And I have to accept if I just die. If I just die, I need to completely accept that,
then
and that's having faith.
Why try? If we go with that, there's nothing left to the book. There's no point in continuing in doing things.
Right. But Cain still wants to save his body.
Yeah.
And they're like, you can stay with us and we will take care of your body. Like, because he says, this is my last awake. And they say, just stay here. Spend your last awake here. Help us out with the chores. We'll put you in a bed. We'll take care of you. You'll be fine.
Just a convenient farming family that just take care of bodies.
Yep. Just because they're Christians and they're good.
Yeah, that's good. Okay.
So what does he do?
Goes to sleep.
Steals their truck and goes to the high-rise.
What an asshole.
Because that's the truck they use to go collect people's bodies when they find their children in Tenebra. They talk to the little children and find their locations and their parents, and they literally use that truck to go rescue babies. He steals that truck to save himself.
What a fucking asshole.
He takes this to save Hex Galilei, the biggest mass murderer in history.
Right.
Yeah. So he drives...
What a piece of shit.
Yes. I know. I'm like, why don't you just accept your fate and stay with them then? Just why?
Yeah, you can enact about as much change in that world as you can this world, so fucking who cares?
He logically tells himself, if I can get in a lifesapod, I can fight loose in the dream world and stay alive there longer and make a difference there. That's what he decides to tell himself is why he can justify this. Because he is having to justify ruining, like stealing their stuff, hurting them.
Yeah.
Because he eats their meal. They give him a meal and he eats it. He has all this conversation. He drives to the high-rise. He wanders around until he finds a room that's locked. We spend time unlocking the lock with a puzzle so that he can feel like a spy in a spy movie. He gets in. He finds the pod. It's Hex Galilei. It looks like the old guy in Tenebra. He goes to leave. Somebody locks the door on the outside. Someone else is in the high-rise. They lock him in. He spends 15 minutes coming up with a clever way of getting out of the room that is blocked in with bulletproof glass. Waste a lot of time doing that. Manage to get to the pod, to the truck. Into the truck. We have the address. We have to drive to a little cabin. That's frickin' 30 minutes or something insane. We get to the cabin. We see the solar panels. We plug Hex Galilei's lifesapod into the electric. We run into the cabin, and he finally realizes he's going to have to give himself an IV and a catheter. And he says, oh, I'm not going to do that. Fuck no, I'm not giving myself a catheter. Because it never occurred to him that waste has to go somewhere. And we never deal with all the people soiling themselves in 18-hour sleeps. Because that's...
Yeah, that's a long time to be asleep. You shit yourself.
Mm-hmm. Never deal with that.
Yeah.
Never deal with the muscle wasting. He plugs in Galilei, runs inside, is pulling off his clothing as he's getting to the lifesapod. He has 3 minutes.
Oh, man. You don't want to rush a catheter.
Crixus is in the lifesapod.
Okay. So he's going to have to make a choice as to whether to kill Crixus and save himself, or...
And instead, he goes to the sink and drinks as much water as he can, and he passes out.
Oh, so you fucked over a lot of people for nothing.
Yep.
What a fucking asshole.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So that was just, what a waste of your last 2 hours of life.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
what a detriment to everyone else.
Yes. Insane. Like, genuinely bizarre. He wakes up in Tenebra. The Tyrones surround him with swords. And Cain confronts Crixus that his body is in the lifesapod that was supposed to go to Cain. And Crixus is shocked. And Crixus demands to know how Cain got out of the locked room in the high-rise. So, after lots of random information and fighting and minotaurs, we finally figure out that Crixus was in a lifesapod in the high-rise, as well as Hex Galilei. Crixus is upset because his body is dying too. That's why he wanted Cain to reestablish the power. Crixus is mad that Luce is giving the spare lifesapod to Cain and completely ignoring Crixus's needs. Crixus decides if he stabs himself in the head with a sword, he might wake up in real life, like the spores. And it works. Because he's a spore. He used to be a Christian in real life. He climbs out of his lifesapod, goes and locks Cain into the room with Hex Galilei, somehow knew the address of the cabin, got to the cabin in those 30 minutes it took Cain to get Hex Galilei into the pickup and to the cabin, got himself into the lifesapod, and stole it right then. because that's how comas and bodies work. You can just wake up and be able to jump out and go do stuff. And I don't know why we needed to... I don't know why we needed to do this in the story. Cain and Crixus fight, and Cain gets away because he wants to go rescue Strana and the children from the arena. And he gets to the arena and sees all the little children and the people getting surrounded by monsters that are going to eat them. He can't get in, so he creates a huge dragon, and it breaks through into the arena, and he yells for everyone to get on. So everybody jumps onto the mist dragon he just created, and it flies them away.
Yeah, it really just takes away all the stakes when you've got God mode activated.
They fly off, but Luce follows him on his stingray, and he's throwing lightning bolts because he's no longer weak and he's no longer in a wheelchair. He's strong now. The lightning hits the dragon, and they start falling, but then he had put some of the wheat in his pockets because it has power, magic power. He either drops some wheat or throws some wheat. He has big, big emotions, and he creates bright red cardinals out of the wheat seeds. And they are made with light, not with dark, so they're more powerful and better than the dark beasts.
Sure.
They help rescue the kids because the dragon is falling apart. They're all flying toward the wheat field because that's where base is. The dragon can't go into the field, so it kind of like falls apart and everyone just goes rolling into the field. Luce is chasing them with soldiers on mist beasts, and they're fighting arrows, and Cain tries to get through the invisible wall, and they can't until he grabs Strana's magic sword, and he stabs the barrier, which creates a temporary hole in it, and all 12 children and 3 adults are able to jump through the barrier to the other side, and then it seals up, keeping Luce and the other ones away. But they don't wake up because this is like leftover Magiserum that is not defined. Everything is just kind of gray and covered in dirt and rocks.
Neutral Magiserum.
Yes. So it could be used to build stuff with because it was just kind of past the edge and no one cared about it. Through some conversation, we established that Jeremy, who is a spore, did cut the electric to the high rise to kill Galilei in the hopes that it would turn off the nightmare. Because Jeremy's thought was if we kill Hex Galilei, he was the draftsman. If he's dead, maybe the virus will be dead too.
That's really stupid.
And then...
Who's Jeremy?
Random spore.
Great.
I don't know if we even met him before, and it doesn't matter.
I don't remember mentioning him.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
So there's disagreement among the spores about whether or not they should kill other people, because one of the things Strana told Cain back at the beginning was, spores don't kill people, spores die. And that's been this thread through the whole thing of they're victims and they're martyrs. And they are falsely accused of all these bad things so that they can be the enemy that we all band up against. But Jeremy was different. He did want to kill him, and apparently he knew where he was, and he cut the power to the high rise, and that part was true. Luce knew that accurately somehow. I don't know how. Like, how does Luce know anything that's going on in the real world? No clue. None of the information is consistent. Cain admits that he saved Hex Galilei, and everyone is like, what? Why would you do that? Like, that's why you stole our truck? What? That's why you left? What are you talking about? And everyone is just really confused about Cain and his motives and what he is actually doing. And Cain is like, but Galilei has a cure. And everyone's like, dude, you are so gullible. And he's like, well, yeah, it sucks for me because now my body's dying in a cabin. I didn't even get the thing. I didn't even get the pod. And Eric literally pats him on the back and is like, that sucks, bro. So this is like the part of the kids movie where everyone is like down and depressed and the main character was ashamed of something they did.
Lost moment.
Yep. And then we turn around and Cain can see light in the rocks and the dirt, and he touches it and creates a castle. And he is able to unlock the magic make things cool button on this side of the barrier. And the kids get hugely excited and start building and creating too, because they're pure of faith and little children. Mm-hmm. And it's not night mist. It's whatever the cardinals and phoenix are made out of. It's whatever essence is in the wheat.
Light mist.
It's light mist. And he invites Strana to join in on the building, and she says she can't. She holds back because she is weak of faith and so pitiful little girl. And he is super powerful in this because he man.
Wait, are we no true Scotsmaning our...
Strana's faith.
What? That's so annoying.
He tells her to be creative with the creator and to not be afraid and to not hide her light under a bushel. He literally quotes Jesus at her, and that gives her enough faith to create stuff. We have basically the hand around the shoulders. God. I'm going to teach you how to shoot a gun. Romance little tiny montage. And it's so fucking lame. So stupid because he has to get the girl.
Yeah.
And before, he was super powerful in the evil stuff. But now he's a good guy, so he's super powerful in the good stuff.
Yeah, he gets to be Anakin Skywalker and Luke.
Yes. Yep. Exactly.
Because we can't pick a lane.
But he's apparently still not a Delphoid because he doesn't have a magic sword.
What the fuck? Sure.
So he accepts this with bravery, and he faces his future death with peace in his heart now. Because he's fixed. It's all better. He is Christian.
Great.
And to prove how much better at everything he is, quote, "We work on the rooms. I help form bunk beds while Strana strains to make blankets and pillows. The blankets are stained, a few frayed, and some pillows have open seams that spill feathers all over the ground. Why is it so hard for me?" she complains as she stuffs feathers back into the pillow by the handful. I don't have an answer. Eric waltzes in with a stack of perfect pillows and tosses one onto each bunk bed before he notices the spilled feathers around Strana. Literally, the girl who has been the faith leader and the creator of this group, as far as we know, is the one who can't fix anything, can't grow anything, and the men around her just have perfect faith. Mm-hmm. Oh, wait. Maybe it's audacity. Maybe it's white men's audacity that creates all this stuff. It's not faith. Maybe the men just have the audacity.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he has to be the perfect boy in every aspect.
Mm-hmm. And it makes me really annoyed because this feels like the author is just punishing Strana. Like, why are we doing this to her? She should,
for no reason.
For no reason. She should be able to just make things magically and be happy about it. Mm-hmm. Cain wants to know, like, okay, I'm part of you. I need all the details now. Where are all of the rest of the Adelphoi? And we find out that they're kind of scattered all around the real world and Tenebra. Like, they're not a cohesive unit or group. This part actually is very well written. I don't think the author did this intentionally. But he realizes that the Adelphoi have the cure, and the cure is faith. This is when he realizes faith in Jesus Christ is what cures you, and if you're a spore, you can wake up. If you get killed in Tenebra, you don't die. And he says, why haven't you been preaching this to everyone? Why haven't you shared this with anyone? Why are you keeping this to yourself? And Strana says, because every time we go in near the citizens, they murder us. Mm-hmm. And he's like, but that doesn't matter. You'll wake up again. And she says, sometimes. We don't know if we're ever actually going to wake up because sometimes we don't.
Yeah, that's the sucky thing about faith. It's about as reliable as random chance.
Yeah.
I'm glad the author recognizes that.
Not only that, but how a new convert will often go into a group that has been well established and around for a long time and be like, you guys are nowhere near zealous enough. Mm-hmm. I'm a new zealot. I need to come here and change everything. And why aren't we all on fire? And that's a really common thing in Christians is you'll get a new believer who is full of faith and has all these big hormones and excitement about something.
And they become extremists.
Yes. And then over time, just like any relationship, it kind of ebbs down. You realize you have to keep buying dinner and sweeping the floor, and nothing actually magical happens to keep you going. And you try to refire that excitement with sermons and revivals and blah, blah, blah.
And going more extreme.
Yeah. So he decides that he needs to tell everyone about the cure, about faith. And they're fine. They can just be sucky little scaredy cats. And he's going to be really brave because them rescuing these children, them maintaining a group and just staying alive, that's not good enough anymore. Because his body is dying from his own choices. So now he has nothing to work toward. So we have the heel turn, the face turn, whatever it is in wrestling. He goes to the wheat field. I'm pretty sure Luce and all of them went back home to regroup and come back and fight later, is I think what happened. And so he's able to go through the barrier because the barrier is literally there only for plot. It lets people through when the author wants it to, and it blocks people when it wants them to. Okay? This time, it lets him go through so that he can pick wheat out of the field. He wants to ride the Phoenix back to the Colosseum, but it's gone. So he holds a wheat seed, and he creates a humongous rhino. Because the wheat power is more powerful than the mist power.
Sure.
He just has all the magic powers. And he rides it down to the tunnel exits where they go into those little cages. And there's vetters there and people in the cages. And the vetters see a spark between a couple of the fears. And one decides that means that they're spores and they should kill all of them. Helene is there and she doesn't like that idea. And Cain is disappointed in her for doing Luce's dirty work and being a vetter. But then he realizes that Heidi, the little girl he rescued, is Helene's daughter, and she's looking for her daughter, so he forgives her. Because he's still the arbiter of morality that everyone else is doing. Cain rushes in to protect the fears from the vetters, and there's a big action fight. Luce comes and attacks on his stingray. Cain makes a phoenix. He throws wheat. Big fight, and then he tells Helene to take the fears to the wheat field, but I don't think they do. And he fights Luce, and then Luce falls in the dirt, and then Cain goes to the Colosseum. He flies to the Colosseum, and he gets attacked by Tyrones on pterodactyls, and his phoenix dies, so he falls into the arena, and he gets captured. They tie him by his ankles and wrists to the sand. Now, because he's so faithful and Christian, he can't build anything out of night mist. So he can't get out of this trap now. He's weak. Plot reasons. He's forced to be stuck.
Yeah, we put all our stats into faith, and now we're weak to magic. Yeah. He lays there thinking all the self-pity, eternity, I'm gonna die, mom, dad were right, or mom and brother were right, boo-hoo-hoo. The arena fills up, and he decides to preach to them. Here's his chance, right? I know the cure. God, that's so fucking
it's
lame.
faith. Yeah, because he's literally splayed out in the sand.
Oh my God.
So he gets to be a martyr and preach to them and tell them faith is the cure and spores are good, not bad. And they all laugh and yell at him and mock him.
Yeah, I also want to laugh, yell, and mock at him.
And there's these big bags of rocks, and they're all going to start stoning him. So they start throwing rocks at him.
Oh, so we're literally making him a biblical stoned martyr.
Stephen martyr. Yes, the first martyr, Stephen. And then Luce arrives and is like, what? You started the party without me?
He's
so
the
they
first
stop.
angry man. He's the first martyr. God.
And Cain is able to pull a wrist free, and Luke stops the stoning because he wants to watch him wiggle and fight. And Cain shouts defiance, and Luce declares that Cain is a traitor, and he shoots Cain in the chest with a lightning bolt. Cain dies, and he wakes up in the cabin. He's a spore. Yay.
Yay.
Dying in Tenebra doesn't kill you, and now he has awake time.
Whoopee.
He goes around in the cabin. He finds a pancake mix and makes himself breakfast because the
How
cabin...
long is he going to be awake now?
So now we find out that the rule is if you die in Tenebra and you're a spore, you wake up and you're awake in the real world until your body is so tired you physically fall asleep.
So now it's normal sleep rules.
Yes.
This is so...
We're at the end of the book. This is
God
literally
damn it.
the end of the book.
And we're still establishing new fucking... Okay.
Yes. Oh, Crixus now wakes up because he tried to stab Luce and he got killed. And he woke up because he's a spore. So they have, a buddy chat time in the real world and they're both awake. Crixus is mad because he thinks he should be emperor, since he's the one who trains everybody who goes through the games. And he thinks if he can kill Luce, he'll become emperor and be God King.
Why would training everybody coming into the game, why would that make him emperor?
Because he thinks they should trust him and listen to him instead.
Fine.
And Cain says, well, I'm going back to the Adelphoi. You should come with me.
Come with me, Judas, who was just talking about betraying someone.
Mm-hmm. And Crixus is like, well, I have my pod. Why would I go with you? This is this cabin with life support and electric. Why would you go to a place of people you don't know if they'll actually care for your body? So Cain goes out to the truck and turns it on, and he waits. And then he's finally like, okay, Crixus isn't coming, so he starts driving away. And Crixus throws a rock at the truck, so he stops. And Crixus comes and gets in. They start driving away from the cabin, and then Cain looks in the mirror and sees that the cabin is on fire.
Why?
Crixus lit the cabin on fire to
and
kill...
destroyed the lysopod?
Yes, to kill Galilei.
Why?
I don't remember if we ever find out why.
Why?
I don't know.
I thought the point of this was to try to make something happen with the creator of the game to get a cure. Like an actual cure. Also, you ruined 2 perfectly good lysopods.
That could have been used by people. You could just get Hex Galilei
right, you
out.
don't have to use it. You can give it to someone else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, God, this is stupid.
So Cain is like, oh, we have to go back and save Hex Galilei. So he whips the truck around and goes back, and he rams the truck into the burning cabin to make a hole in the wall to go through
to save
the man.
To save technology Hitler.
Mm-hmm. And he runs into the cabin, but Hex Galilei is not in the pod. There's a gunshot outside because Galilei got out of his pod, went outside, shot Crixus, who got out of the truck and was running away. So Cain jumps back into the truck, drives after Crixus, and shouts at him to get in. And Galilei gets into the other car that conveniently still turns on and has gas and has been being used randomly, and uses that to run over Crixus and crush him and drive away.
That is like the most unwieldy fucking scene I've ever heard described, I think.
And I literally am telling you just exactly what happens.
All of that. There has to be a simpler way to make, like, whatever outcome they wanted, there has to be, like, a simpler way. Like, number 1, setting the cabin on fire? Why did you make Crixus change his mind just so you could kill him and get him run over? Why couldn't Galilei have just gotten out of the life pod while... at
any other point in time.
Yeah, or just been... Like, you could have done that differently. You could have saved a lot of time right there while Cain was sitting in the truck waiting on Crixus. You could have heard the gunshot then and saved all that rigmarole of driving around, and could have had Gallifrey have gotten out of his pod and shot Crixus in the cabin and then leapt out a window as Cain went in. And that's effectively the same amount of storytelling. And the only thing that has to change is Cain gets the other vehicle.
I think the goal was to kill Crixus.
Right, but it could have been done like so much more efficiently.
And Hex Galilei...
Where did he get a gun? Where did Hex Galilei get a gun?
No fucking clue.
Did they pot him with a gun?
I guess.
Fine.
We basically want him to go away and not be Cain's problem anymore. So we make that happen by him getting out of the pod, killing Crixus because we want Crixus dead, getting in the car and driving away. That makes him no longer Cain's problem. Cain isn't
making any of these decisions because he can't be culpable of it because he has to remain the perfect boy.
Yes.
God damn it.
But we don't
annoying.
actually want Crixus to go back to the Adelphoi because he's a loner and we don't actually like him and he's not a real Christian.
Yeah.
And so we have a death scene where Crixus is like, was I Judas? And Cain literally is like, no, it's how you believe. And if you have faith, you will go to heaven. And if you apologize right now, you will make it. You're fine. So we can have a God's not dead atheist turned Christian in the rain scene or whatever.
Great. I love that.
And so Cain drives back to the Adelphoi house. All of the adults are asleep, but most of the kids are awake, so he has to feed the kids and take care of them and milk the cow because he's the only awake adult to take care of everybody. This is the only time we address bedding because he cleans the soiled sheets that are under the sleepers, washes them in the kitchen sink.
Ew.
And then lays them in the grass to dry in the yard.
That doesn't sound very clean.
That does not sound sanitary. And he literally thinks to himself, yeah, I have no idea how anyone else does this. Oh, well, I'm just going to do it the way I want to because this is what I can figure out. And it's like, oh, you didn't even look to see if there was like big tubs to hold water. Like, I don't want my kitchen sink
Like
full of human
soap?
poop.
Yeah.
Yeah, he finds
Washing.
Dawn dish
Do they
soap
have a
or something?
washing machine?
No, because they have no electric.
Why does there not have no electric? Everyone else has electricity.
Right, if the high-rise had electric. And why would you destroy a cabin that had solar? You could use that electricity.
Everything's stupid.
He tries to get the kids to go to bed, and they're like, we don't want to sleep. So then he feeds them turkey. I don't remember even how he manages to cook it. But he in his mind, that's Thanksgiving food. It'll make the kids go to sleep. And then everyone beds down and gets ready to go to sleep at bedtime. And he hopes to wake up in Tenebra in the arena because that's where he got killed. So if we follow the rules of the story, you return to the point you exited the game. But this time we don't do that. He wakes up at the castle he built.
Okay, so that's a checkpoint now, I guess?
Yep, because I guess that's home. It's so that we don't have to spend time traveling
Right.
to the castle.
Yeah.
And he's on the
We're
correct...
breaking rules just because the author can't figure out a way to make this happen better.
Yep.
Or make better rules.
Yep. And we don't want to deal with the barrier and stuff. But when he gets there, the invisible barrier is invisibly shredded. Because literally he can tell that the barrier that is literally see-through that you can touch but not see has been shredded, and Luce and his army are coming through it. And they were able to get through even though nobody could until he had Stranasword. So he gets to feel like Theoden at Helm's Deep and have internal inspirational music in his head and like more power fantasy. And he feels confident and full of faith because God wins in the end. So we're Jesus, Jesus, Jesus.
So we're back. We had some technical issues, and we're back re-recording the end of this episode.
Unfortunately.
So we're going to try to pick right back up where we left off, or the last bit that got recorded.
Yep. Cain returns to Tenebra, back to the castle. He stands next to Strana and tells her it'll be okay. And she tells him he smells like cinnamon. So that's how we know he is the real
Super
deal. He's the real type of Christian now. She gives him a kiss, and that's the romantic interest we got in this book.
Woo.
Woo. The Adelphoi have some birds of prey and catapults and stones to defend themselves with. They used light that was in the stones or light that was in the wheat to make themselves defenses. And Luce's army is coming with pterodactyls because those look evil and birds of prey look good.
I mean, pterodactyls do look intimidating, I guess.
Yeah. One of the Tyrones crashes and a pterodactyl lands and starts eating him. And that makes a point that the mist beasts will turn on you because they're evil and they don't care about you. But the birds of prey that they made won't defeat other humans. They won't kill humans. So it's a very lopsided battle. The stuff that Strana made cannot actually hurt the humans on the other side, but the animals on the other side can hurt the Adelphoi. Also, we never saw the stuff that Cain created turn around and eat him. Mm-hmm. We are just changing the rules again.
Right, yeah, no consequences for our boy.
Right. Luce is standing there, and I just kind of imagine this as a cartoon. Just out of his hand is pouring monster upon monster, flooding the field, going after them. There's a roar. It's the citizens of Tenebra from the Colosseum. Because Helene and Heidi are riding on the rhino and coming in and helping defeat Luce and his army. Because this is a very unrealistic one-sided battle. The citizens are winning, so Luce creates more mist beasts and vines to tear down the castle. Cain's phoenix flies in and delivers a grain of wheat before the phoenix gets blown up. So he has one last chance to save them. He holds the wheat, he throws it at the sky, and it becomes a sun that destroys all the mist beasts. And that is how he wins. He has light. God made light.
Yeah, because the wheat seeds are basically IEDs.
Luce runs away. Cain rides his rhino after him, and Cain is able to get through the barrier after Luce, and then it closes up behind him so that we can't have any help, and we have to have the epic end battle with no interference from anyone. Luce has swords, but Cain doesn't have any swords, so he has to dodge and run and roll around. And then he falls down, the sword is descending on him, and then clang! A magic Adelphoi sword blocks it. And there's a scabbard at Cain's waist, because he's a real Adelphoi now, and here's his magic sword. It popped up when he needed it.
Yeah, Deus Ex Adelphoi.
Yep. It jumps into his hand on its own, and the sword instructs him to stab Luce, and he obeys. Because before, he had been saying, well, I shouldn't kill Luce. I shouldn't kill Hex Galilee. I shouldn't kill Crixus, because he has to be perfectly pure. And now, the sword is supposed to represent the Spirit of God, I think. And it's saying, you have God's permission to murder this time.
Oh.
So it's fine. And he stabs Luce, and Luce morphs and changes into Hex Galilee, the old man that he rescued.
Right.
Who was
he
Luce's
his own
dad. Yes, he was his own dad. I had guessed that along the way because of Luce's changes in energy based on the situation with the pod. And then it's this big reveal, but it has no meaning. It has no effect.
Yeah.
It was just a plot twist that was just there to exist, I guess.
You know how I feel about the sword thing? I feel like it's, at the very least, honest. Because it's not about what's the moral thing. It's whether God said so.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter about the right or wrong of it. It's just whether it's okay with the deity.
So, Luce is, what have you done? And Cain says, reveal the truth, because we're big heroic. Quote, clearly there's a power beyond you, even in your own created world. My words came out sad. This man before me desired a new life and new power so badly that he entrapped the world to get it. You can't outcreate the Creator, I say. No matter how much Luce creates in this place, God is going to interfere and add his own creations, and his will always be unmatched. He's not bound by science or imaginarium. And I had thought we were in an allegory, which was fine. The stuff inside Tenebra reflects the spiritual battles we face every day. The depression, the darkness, the heaviness, what you create out of your spiritual life, whatever.
Yeah, makes sense enough.
Yes. And then with this passage, we are saying, no, it's not an allegory. It's a real miracle. This is literal. This is literal fantasy. God did a miracle to make a point, I guess. Like, fuck all the millions and billions of people who died.
I guess.
It's just...
I mean, same as the Bible, though.
And it was funny because that was actually a very big criticism online, was people were saying, I thought this was an allegory, and then you went in and changed it. And everyone was, like, fine with the allegory thing. And then a lot of people were critical of how you add faith, but it doesn't make sense. Your main character is super good at being bad and then super good at being good. Like...
It doesn't matter his circumstances. He's always the best boy.
Yeah. Which is I hate that kind of character in a story anyway.
Yeah, it's just a boring character.
I didn't like the writing. I felt like we were inconsistent with the rules. We kept changing them to make the plot work. And you could have written your plot and then not had all those weird rules.
Yeah.
You could have just had chaos and that would have been fine. No one else is shown creating night mist. Like night beasts or whatever. So Cain walked into this world with the same level of power as Luce, the creator of the world. But there's no reason that happens. He just is special.
Yeah, there's no character growth getting him to that point. He has to know overcoming something in order to get on that level.
He's Luke Skywalker, including losing his parents. Luce stumbles away, an old decrepit man, and Cain decides that Luce will just wither away or get eaten by night beasts. And it doesn't matter because no one in Tenebra will obey him or recognize his authority anymore because he doesn't look like Luce. And it's fine, we won. Cain turns around and walks through the barrier, no problem, which makes it a plot hole. Plot hole. And he goes up to Strana and she declares that Cain has defeated him. Cain says, even though Luce is defeated, the virus is here to stay and will never go away. And they have to build a new world in Tenebra of life and light. And he decides they will build a castle and a wheat field and explore the unmade landscapes that God created for them past the barrier. Quote, we have a home, Strana. For the first time, I see this place as truly beautiful, coated in potential and adventure. We have something even more than that, Strana comments quietly as the new sun sets for the first time in our new world. We both take it in. The warmth, the beams, the miracle. We have the eternal cure. And that's the end of the book. And I was like, but we were trying to make a cure. We were trying to solve the sleep. We have people who are in comas. What about them?
Yeah, fuck them. They're not Christian enough. They don't smell like cinnamon.
We have children who are abandoned most of the time. And so I felt like the ending was really unsatisfying.
Yeah, no, that doesn't. No.
And honestly, the amount of people like at Tenebra and in the Adelphoi home was like 5 adults and a dozen kids. Like, that's your survivors? Is less than 2 dozen people? Because we don't address all of the other citizens. It's just faceless blobs. Most of the people in the story are faceless blobs, and we don't care about them.
Right.
We care about Strana because she's the romantic interest, and a kid because we have to be heroic.
Right.
And the enemy, who is Luce. And it was so myopic. I really felt like this character was poorly done, really self-centered.
Yeah, self-centered, boring, flawless character.
I thought the whole way we dealt with Hex Galilei in real life was strange. I thought the way we dealt with Crixus in real life was strange. I felt like we could have skipped the entire cure thing and just had a battle for good or evil in Tenebra. It was too long. It was way too long.
Yeah.
On Goodreads, this book has a 4.22 rating.
That's
out of
baffling.
5. She has a fan base. Her fans, a lot of them really loved this.
Yeah.
Thought that it was exciting and interesting, and I think a lot of them aren't allowed to read normal science fiction or normal fantasy.
Good possibility.
And so they don't have good books to compare to. It also felt like a lot of them weren't thinking through what they were reading. They weren't probing it. It was just a fun thriller.
Yeah.
Which, if you just do that, meh.
I mean, that does seem to be how most people read lit RPGs.
I give it a C++ for Cane Cross.
I find it hard to disagree.
Which, I mean, it could have been worse. It could have been worse, so, a C sounds reasonable.
We'll take it.
Yeah. If you have silly, strange, random books to send us, email us at bibliowrecks@gmail.com, bibliowrecks@gmail.com. We really appreciate your comments, sharing with friends, subscribing, and we love your emails.
And don't be a wheat farmer. If you're too Christian, you'll explode.
You might make another son, and then we will roast to death.
Yeah. And we're already burning up fast enough as it is, honestly.
Yeah. Don't create a mind virus.
Bye.
Bye.